Hi, everyone. This is Michael Cannon representing the TooMedToo's Star Wars Network. We've got your fix. And this is episode number 30 of the Bacta Tank. This is brought to you by the patrons. If you want to join the patrons, you go to the Patreon page. It is patreon.com/TooMed2. And you can join the likes of Rural Farm Boy, Kylo Customs, Kylo Ren Flores, Heidi Fetter, Christopher from Kentucky, and Mr. Rez, and supporting the network that way. And I guess we can get right into it today. We have with us. Oh, I should probably mention that it is still it's August, so August is August in Australia. Australia is August month. I don't know. I forget what I call it. It's something like that. But anyways, you guys know what I'm talking about. Why isn't it working like that? We'll get him out. There we go. We have Mike Zarbo. How are you doing, sir?
That's right. Yeah, really well, thanks. Yeah, nice and bright and sunny. My end of the town, as you can see, in the background. So yeah, really well.
You're in the future. It's Tuesday, or almost noon for you. So where are you located exactly in Australia?
Okay, so I'm located in Melbourne. For those who are not familiar, down south. And at the moment we're suffering the worst of it all at the moment. So we're all kind of locked up with curfews. So plenty of time to do podcasts and things.
Yeah, it seems like I had Josh on a couple weeks ago, and then I had Blue Bantha, the guys from Blue Bantha on last week. So it's all Melbourne guys so far that have been on, and they're everybody's locked down, but they're optimistic, and it's just funny because here it's like I have to stay in. Everybody goes a little crazy about it, and there it's just kind of like, well, we're gonna be done sooner, so I guess what you lose in productivity, you're gonna make up in medical bills, is what I'm gonna assume, and just the cost of life, but And then you have a podcast that you do down there in Australia.
Yes, so it's true, all of it. I think I got it in the background there. Another Star Wars podcast. A lot of fun. I play songs at the end of each episode, have interviews, reach out to the other Star Wars community, talk about anything that we love, fun Star Wars. And it's called It's True, All of It.
Okay. How long have you been doing that for?
It's been just gone over to 1 year. A couple of days ago, it was, I think it was the 15th of August, we released our very first episode. And 23 episodes later, a year later, we're still going. So, yeah, we're still enjoying it. And the other thing too that I've really loved about it is meeting many other people within the Star Wars community. Dale's mainly organising things on Twitter, but just we reach out to, obviously we've got to get to know yourself. In Melbourne, in the Melbourne Star Wars podcast community, there's Blue Bantha and Josh's Star Wars Spelt Out. And we've met some people from, Conversations, and we've had Rural Farm Boy on the show, and CO Bibble's Bubble, only to name a few, and Pink Milk. And look, I've probably forgotten and left so many out. That's why I always hate mentioning names, but just in general, that's just an example of how many people throughout Australia, USA, or England that we've met. And just doing interviews, for an example, I interviewed a guy called Damien Valentine, who's like his name online is Darth Angelus, who did the Heir to the Empire, like he animated it. Just saw him on YouTube, and it was just great to have a chat with him about Star Wars in general. So, yeah, I've been really loving it.
Yeah, that's kind of the same thing here. It's evolved. I've had the show since the beginning of 2018. And it's kind of evolved to. I just started. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was doing everything. I was trying to do breaking news. I was trying to do stories, and I took a little break for a while, and it's a whole big story. But then, like, I went to Celebration. I was like, this is what I want. I want to be able to sit around and talk with people and get to know, Star Wars friends. And, it kind of started back up in, like, last September. So going on, I mean, even though I've been doing it, it's going to be going on almost 3 years. I've been doing it this kind of format for a year. And then I fine-tuned it where anybody could come on. So I would just talk until people started showing up and coming on. Yeah. And sometimes it was really good because you get a lot of people right away. But sometimes you'd have people waiting in the back, and you'd have 10 people that want to come on. And then other times I'd be there for an hour and a half or 2 hours by myself. And, I'm not ready to do an hour and a half, 2 hours by myself because I'm planning on talking with people. So, I kind of switched up the format. And, we have a featured guest that I talk to and get to know. And then it just kind of goes to crazy town afterwards.
Yeah. No, it's a great thing, and especially now. So, since March, especially Melbourne, it's different all over the world, but on and off lockdowns, and it's sort of, I've got a bit extra time. I actually can't go out anywhere. I'd rather chat to someone about Star Wars. So we'd go on each other's podcast shows, and it's just a better use of time. So what great way, who would have known? And starting a podcast a year ago, and then just we can't go out. Oh well, we can still do podcasts online, so it's great.
Yeah, it was interesting because when all this happened, there was a lot of podcasts that started popping up and a lot more streaming, and that's when Zoom came in. And I mean, Zoom came in because of COVID, which made the streaming a lot easier, and StreamYard and a couple other ones. So it's kind of before it was really a pain in the ass too, and you had to plan beforehand because I'm going to Skype call you, and then we got to check and make sure your cameras are right. That's just I tell you where to, or what time to be there, and I give you a link, and you click on, and we met at 9:25 or 9:26, and okay, the sounds good, we're ready to go. So that's where it's great. Yeah. But it was funny because there were some podcasts that start off in March or April, and they only made a couple episodes because I didn't realize how much work it was, and I thought it was just going to be like, okay, I'm just going to talk because I love Star Wars. I talk Star Wars with everybody, but there's a lot more involved in it than that. But so now are you originally from Australia?
Yeah. So I was born in the capital, which Canberra is the capital inland. The history basically behind that is you got the big two popular cities, Sydney and Melbourne, and they were trying to work out which is the best one to have the capital. And they go, okay, we can't choose. Let's just point a place in the middle, which is Canberra. And I've been in Melbourne for a good 15 years or so. And I've lived overseas just a couple of times here and there and traveled a lot. But yeah, just generally bred and born Aussie. And
I mean, well, it was funny because I thought Josh was from England originally, but he was born in Australia. Yeah. And then when he was, I'm making these numbers up, but when he was 20, moved to England and spent 10 years in England, then moved back to Australia. Sean, I thought was Australian, but he was born in South Africa.
Right, yeah, okay, yeah.
Matt, I thought was Australian, but he was born in the U.S. So it was just so it's my whole Australian knowledge of people has been a lie.
It's a bit of a mix.
It's so funny though because like we talk about how the U.S. is a melting pot, but really like Australia, it's like and it's we're going to go on vacation for 2 weeks and we're going to go to the U.S. and hit a bunch of different places. It's just I don't know. For me, I've just never really experienced that before. Like I don't know. I never really knew, especially with our group of people that we know through Star Wars. How they rolled, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I guess one thing, because Australia's sort of like known so far away from everything else, and especially 10, 20, 30 years ago, it was just a bit more expensive or just a lot harder in terms of travel. So like say someone living, in the States or in Europe, just easier and shorter flights to get to things. I mean, Southeast Asia is sort of close. That's still 8 or 10 hours flight. But then for me, it just given me some more drive to travel. Like obviously having a big country like ourselves, Australia, similar to the USA, you go on you got those road trips and drive good 20, 30 hours somewhere and you're still in your own country and you're in a different state. But then after a while, it's sort of, I want to see something a bit different and exotic, different languages. And that's sort of got me the travel bug. And relating back to Star Wars, being a huge fan of Star Wars, I'd always wanted to see some of these sites that you'd always see on film, thinking, I've got to go see Luke's home one day. And then one day living in Spain, okay, Tunisia's just a 2-hour flight. Let's go. Great. And that sort of hit off from there, seeing some of those sites and where Star Wars things were filmed.
So how did you get into Star Wars?
I was, because of my age, now getting on 44, they coming up soon. Star Wars had just been released a year. Oh no, hang on. Well, I was about 1 year old when Star Wars released, The New Hope, or before it was called New Hope, obviously. And then when I was about 4 years old, Empire Strikes Back had come out, and you're kind of at that age where you're just starting to, get toys and connecting things. And I just always remember having the Star Wars figures, like I had R2-D2, Lando Calrissian and Lobot and a few others. And I remember my parents saying, oh, look, Star Wars this is a really good movie. You got to watch this or something. Okay. And it was this big thing. That's all I could just remember. Watched it on TV late at night. I thought, this is awesome. And people that had video players would have recorded it and would go over to their house and watch it. And I didn't get to go to see one in the movies until Return of the Jedi came out. And I absolutely love it. And still today, that's probably one of my favorite out of the whole movies because, I was the right age for the Ewoks and grew up with it all. And it just stuck with me. Obviously, getting into teenage years, you just go, okay, we're too old for this. Actually, no, sorry. Before I was becoming a teenager, maybe 10 or 12. And then a couple of years later, Ed the Empire novel's out. Oh, this is what happens after Return of the Jedi. And got into that. And then I really got into the comics. Like I bought a lot of comics from the early 90s up until, say, a year or two ago. I haven't bought much, which has been a huge, huge break for me for not buying many Star Wars comics. So, yeah, I guess I've been into it all my life. Nostalgic, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the same with me. I was born into it. I have an older brother. Like, I don't even know if I saw any of them when they originally came out in the theater. I could ask my parents, but they'd confuse me and my brother. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, we took you to go see it," and my brother would be like, "No, that was me." So there's really no way for me to find out. Maybe if I asked him, he would probably have a better idea. But he's 8 years older than me, so he probably wouldn't remember if I went or not. But yeah, it's just the same thing. Star Wars has always been there, and sometimes it's been more involved in my life than others. Right now, it's involved in my life because I decided to make this my hobby, and my hobby's talking to Star Wars people, and maybe collecting a few things here and there, and going on vacation with Star Wars people and leaving my girlfriend at home, and whatever, just the normal stuff.
Yeah, it's a great other thing to have. Like, you have all the other things in your life. Like, as I mentioned, one of them is traveling or music, playing bands, writing songs, rock climbing, whatever. And then you meet people with that connection. So you might meet people that are into rock climbing and they're not into Star Wars, but then they get to know you, you become Facebook friends or something, and then they always see some Star Wars meme. They always share it to you. They go, yeah, that's the guy that likes Star Wars. So, Michael would love this, So it's being associated with Star Wars has been great.
Yeah, it was funny because when I got back from Celebration, one of my friends I know I've talked to a bunch of times about Star Wars. I told him I have a YouTube channel and everything,
Hmm.
and we were sitting around, and he's like, "You went to Celebration? I didn't know you like Star Wars." And I was like, "Dude, how many times have I told you to look at my Star Wars
Yeah,
YouTube
yeah,
channel?" And it's like, "Oh, I'm a huge Star Wars fan too," and it's like, see, even when you think you know somebody, and you think every day I'm wearing a Star Wars T-shirt, people in the neighborhood
yeah.
know me as a Star Wars guy because like my thing is I'm always wearing a Star Wars T-shirt.
Hmm.
Whether there's a button-down shirt or short sleeve shirt or whatever on top of it. I'd say 95% of the time because I think three or four T-shirts that aren't Star Wars, and I usually don't wear those. But yeah, so it's just kind of it's funny the way that you get known, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, have you seen The Mandalorian?
Hmm.
Yeah, I saw
Hmm.
The Mandalorian. I saw it 8 months ago when it came out.
Yeah,
Oh, did you like?
yeah,
It's funny though because I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. They see me wearing a Star Wars T-shirt all the time, but they don't know that
yeah,
I'm really like infatuated with Star Wars and have toys, and that's why the UPS guy's
yeah.
here all the
Right.
time and everything.
Yeah, one thing I've with myself, say, especially when I was in my 20s, I'd have a lot of parties at my house, and then in my room, I'd have, like, as you can sort of see, like, lots of Star Wars thing toys in the whole, all covered all the way around the wall. And people go, "Oh my gosh, you must be the biggest fan in the world," because they just didn't know any other Star Wars fans. And then on the other flip side, when you're going out, you're wearing a Star Wars t-shirt, you're going to a pub, new film comes out. Oh, what do you think of the new film? Or, yeah, what do you think of The Mandalorian? Or when I'm traveling, I'll at least have one or two Star Wars t-shirts, and same thing. And you get, oh, what's it like? Oh, so do people in Mexico like Star Wars? Oh, do people in Brazil like Star Wars, or wherever you are? It's kind of always interesting to meet other people that either may be a fan or just curious about it and asking you because you're wearing the t-shirt.
Yeah, it's funny because it's weird. Like I use Facebook to keep in touch with family and
Mm.
friends from where I've lived in the past, whether it be Buffalo or North Carolina. People I went to high school with or whatever, people I went to school with, and just whatever it is. And Twitter I use for like Star Wars friends and the
Mm.
YouTube channel and things like that. And then but then I have a Star Wars Facebook, and that's just anybody that wants to talk Star Wars. And
Yeah.
I'll go through and like I'll look and I'll be like, they're entire threads, mostly Star Wars. Okay, I'll go through. I'll look and be like, it's like Star Wars politics, Star Wars politics. Nope, they're not going to be my friend because that's not what I'm here for. Maybe someday
Yeah, good.
maybe we could be great friends, but I'm just looking for Star Wars people when on the Facebook feed or whatever. And I mean, it's kind of similar with Twitter, but not just little different uses there, what they're for.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And then, have you been to a celebration?
No, that's one. So that's the thing. Have not yet, and I'd love to experience those types of things because that's one thing that's been missing out of my life. And especially, as I said, I mentioned all this travel, done so much travel. Still have not even been to the USA yet because there's just so much to see. It's hard to get to see everything. And it's so many reasons I'd love to go there. Number one, for celebration. Number two, Obi-Wan Rancho. But just seeing your toys there, like we miss out. Yeah, we got a few toys, we have things in toy shops when a new movie or something comes out, but nothing on the scale that you guys have. And I'm actually worried that if I'd go over there, I'd spend all my money. I mean, I know we've got the internet now, we can always find things online, but just to walk into a shop and see a lot of Star Wars things and toys, I'd love that. I'd love that experience.
Yeah, it's tough around here though because it's gone to a lot of you have to buy stuff off the internet too. I mean, yeah, we have free shipping, so it's not $20 a figure. I get a case of figures delivered, and it costs me $160. It's going to cost you twice that plus shipping. It's probably going to cost you $500. Or something crazy like that. But that's where you can't, especially now that each store has exclusives and. You have to go to Target for something. You have to go to Walmart for something. And like even in New York City, right by me, I don't have any Targets. But once I get to a Target, which is a couple miles away, well, I do have one, but you know,
Mm.
for my purposes, I don't have one by me. But when I do get to one, you know, it's an hour to walk there, or you know, half
Oh,
hour,
okay,
45 minutes to take the train or the bus. You know, if I had a car, it would take 10 minutes. But that, you know, that's one of the things about New York City. A lot of people don't have cars, or it's not worth it to drive, you know, from
yeah,
here a couple miles away, because you got to pay for parking, and you might have to park 6 blocks away. So you still got to walk 15 minutes to get there or whatever. But, you know, so it kind of really depends on where you're going if you need a car. But,
Mm.
you know, once I get to that target, I have 3 targets within a mile of each other. You know, so I can hit them all up really quickly. But, you know, they might have, one store might have 6 of a certain figure and the other 2 don't have any, and you don't know which ones it's going to be, and the trackers that they use to try and get it, you know, so it's really a crapshoot. So even though it's more fun to go in the stores and find them and look and be like, oh, this one's a little better, especially like with Black Series, or the vintage figures, you know, where you have, you know, really big differences and with the way they look, from figure to figure. But yeah, now it's just kind of, you know, get everything online. Otherwise, you know, you can spend an entire day trying to get one figure, and it's not even like it's a fun hunt. It's just like, did the scalpers get there before I did? But there are a few stores, you know, that deal with, if you like Funko Pops, that have all the Funko Pops, or you know, stores that have all of the vintage figures and things like that, if that's what you're into. So, you know, that might be, you might have to travel, you know, a couple hours or a day or whatever. We're gonna go, you know, we're gonna go to this city to check out this big shop because, you know, it's an excuse for a little road trip. But yeah, it's I mean, all my stuff I order off of the internet, you know, whether it's Amazon or you know, Entertainment Earth or one of the other companies, GameStop, and then just trying to make sure that you have them. Because the weird thing is too, I could order a figure from one company and then the same figure from another company, and the delivery dates are a month apart. So it's like, well, no, I want to get it from the sooner one or whatever. But, so
and
now,
I've noticed that. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I was just going to say on that note, I've noticed that, like, obviously, when it was the mid 90s, when I was just starting to do figures again, you know, they didn't look that great. They had these yellow, red cards and these green cards, and they started looking better and better. When they started looking better, oh, Han, Carbonite, and oh, Bush, Leo, and Bush Disguise, these look all right. Yeah, no, that's not bad. I might buy them. You know, you still had your internet and everything, obviously, but it was just still more choice to go to. You know, we have our Targets, Kmart's, Big W's, those sorts of shops, even our local supermarkets, Coles, Woolies. And it would be the hunt. You'd go there and you'd see, what have they got? And like, or you're just doing your grocery shopping, you go to the toy section and there'll be like all these cool figures. And I mean, I used to enjoy that sort of experience, but then over the years, it's sort of changed. And it's like now there might be that odd shop, like how you were talking about. We got this purple Minotaur shop, and it'll have a whole section for everything sort of Star Wars. It'll be a bit more pricier, but at least it'll be there and you can grab it while you've got the chance, because I won't have much stock of it. But yeah, everything has to be sort of online. And because we're in Australia, you try to find that company that's Australian based, so the shipping's a lot cheaper, or it's just going to be, you know, they've got the connections to aim to get it to you a lot better. So yeah, things, you know, like the retro, the vintage when it's coming out, it's like, okay, who's going to, like, which company's going to get it to me sooner or better or cheaper shipping options, and you've got to get onto it quick, because then after that, you're going to go on your eBays and all that sort of stuff and spend, you know, $50 at least for a figure or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's even with, like, Walgreens will have an exclusive, and there's a lot of places in the U.S. that don't have a Walgreens and can't get them. So, you know, you go there and there's 4 of them there. I'll grab all 4 of them, and, you know, I then have them for friends of mine. But when I ran into this last time, I grabbed a couple of them. They were $12.99 for the Funko, and then it's $5 to ship it. So, you know, just send it to somebody. It's going to be $17. They can find them on eBay for $13 with shipping. Yeah. So it's like, it's cheaper to buy it from the secondhand market or somebody that got a good deal on them, or they fell off a truck or however they got them, than it is for me to buy them and ship them. But but like my buddy Johnny, my Star Wars Life Debt is in the chat. I sent him one. It cost me. It would have been cheaper for me to buy one off of Amazon UK if they were available than it was for me to. It cost twice as much for me to send it over to London than the thing cost me to buy it. So but that's just but it's not. It wasn't to make money off of it. It was like, hey, I got these, and my buddy wants one, so I'm going to send him one.
Yeah, you need one. Yeah.
Which was funny. I've talked about it before. When I was a kid growing up, whatever. When I was a kid, I collected baseball cards, and it was just like everything in my life was about baseball cards and trading and trying to find the best ones and everything. And that's what my allowance went for, was baseball cards. And I was dating this one girl, and her father would get like the monster boxes, like 5,000 of them. Or like 4,000 of them mailed to them by these people. And all they did is they just mailed them, went around this big circle. They went all over the country, and they just mailed them to each other. And they would take cards out that they wanted, put cards in, and just send to the next person. And like, that's what they did. And I just didn't understand that, because I was like, man, how much money's there? And it's like this and that and like, and everything. And it's like, but for them, it wasn't about that. It was, it'd be like the same thing as if you sent, if there was tens of thousands of figures, and you just kind of threw them in a box and sent them all around, like, oh, I need this one, I don't need that one. So it was that was kind of interesting to me, and I didn't really think about it or understand it until I started collecting. And it's like, I'm not going to give you $35, but I'll buy a $12 figure and spend $25 to ship it to you and be like, here you go, here's a nice gift. So it's just, I don't know, it's just different like that. So it's the camaraderie too of collecting and getting in. Which is another thing. I keep telling myself I'm going to get into the vintage and sell my Funko Pops and sell some, the Black Series, and that way I can sell some of those and then start with the last 17, a couple of the really tough ones to get, and that way the other ones are kind of easy, because everyone does the other way. Everyone picks up the easy ones and then saves the hard ones for the end. What happens if I come out with, $5 or $6 grand, buy a couple of the really hard ones, and then the other ones will be easy after, as we go on. So, but then, then they come out with a couple new Funko Pops, or they come out with the 40th anniversary, or, they change the boxes for the Black Series, and it's like, well, now I need to start getting these ones, and what else is going to come with it? It's like, they once we think we're out of it, they it's, I thought I was out and they pulled me back in, or whatever that line is. If it was Star Wars line, I would have probably messed it up anyways too. But so now, what do you mostly collect?
Vintage. Before the vintage, the story of the vintage, before it got to vintage, it was the Star Wars Saga collection or something like that. Just trying to remember now, or the original trilogy collection. So they were starting to have pictures in the background. So, and then I think it was closer to the 30th anniversary when they had the first lot of vintage. And then I went, this is great, because for me, like, as you can see in the background, you've got the retro style figures, the same molds that I had what I grew up with. That's that sort of a nostalgic, what I can, for memories and familiarity. So I like that sort of look. But as I was telling you, like, I kept my figures that I had as a kid. I just managed to keep them, and then my other friend that was he's friends with me since he was 3 years old. I grabbed all of his figures, and he had Jabba and everything. It was great. I said, when I was about, I think, 17 or 18, I go, oh, have you still got all your figures? Can I just have them, because I just want to collect them, And this was when it was starting to nearly get mid-90s, where people were thinking, oh my gosh, these are worth a lot of money. And he could just, have them. I'm not going to charge you money. You're my friend. You love it. This is about you to keep them, to put them on your shelf. Mm-hmm. And then I went to the shops and bought any other vintage figure that I didn't have. And back then that was like I think you might be paying $50 at the most for any of them. And mind you, that none of these were in the packets, but going from just the changes that that always got me. They had the green packets, they were looking nicer. Then they did then obviously the Phantom Menace came out, so they had the one with the Darth Maul on, and then Attack of the Clones, so they had these blue things. And I mean, I think even we've got a blue, like a Wampa there. Oh, doesn't matter. Probably. Oh no, I've covered it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But they were looking better and better. But then later on, they re-released it, and I just liked that vintage style packaging, having that picture or that original sort of look. Whereas if it's just in the Black Series, obviously they look great. The detail. I mean, I'm not getting into those because they've got mainly the 6-inch, and I've got the 3/4. So I want to keep them all the same style. Like, for an example, I've got 50 or 80 different stormtroopers, or quite a few stormtroopers, clone troopers, everything, just to make a big display of an army. I don't at the moment because of where I'm living, but where I previously lived, I did that. So I want to keep it consistent. So I suppose now, because I've got so many, especially the 30th anniversary, I'd find some for $9. So $9 for stormtroopers. Let's get 10 or 20 of them or 30 of them. I built up so many figures, so now I'm only buying when a good vintage figure that I like is coming out. For example, I think the latest ones was the Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight Jabba's Palace, and they had the Mandalorian and Cara Dune come out. One of the Black Series things I did buy was the Baby Yoda, because it's just that small. You can't really, the scales doesn't matter too much. But yeah, it's just now vintage, and I'm up to date with my collection thanks to having a bit of isolation time and just getting online and going, okay, what can I do now? Well, I can shop online and buy Star Wars figures. Which ones do I want? How much money have I got? Get that done, tick that box off. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I had somebody on here that they're like, "Oh, I bought the Baby Yoda Black Series, but I think it was a 3.75 Deluxe." And they showed it to me, and I said, "No, that's the 6-inch." They said, "There's no way." I said, "No, that's the 6-inch. It's the size of your thumb. You're not even the size of your thumbnail."
Yeah.
Yeah. I still have all my stuff still in the box. Until someday when I'm no longer living in a small New York City apartment and either have a big New York City apartment or a house, and I have an extra room to display it. That's a lot of my stuff. It's getting to the point where I'm gonna have to put some into storage boxes and put them into storage because I'm running out of room, and it's either stop getting stuff or my I don't have like a curio cabinet or a nice cabinet or anything. I have a bookcase that I keep things in. Well, like the Funko Pops are 5 deep, so I don't see the 4 rows behind what's ever faced off. Yes. So putting those, but when I went through and I put them on the shelves like that, I knew where each one was. Like, no, I want this one before that one, and I don't know why. It doesn't matter. I'm never going to see them, so it doesn't matter which one's in the back, which one's in the front. But just the crazy things that some collecting, I don't know, craziness that we do, I guess. And now, are you like a completionist for the most part?
No. Like, as an example, like I've got some Funko Pops, and I just got a couple of favorite characters like Plo Koon, Kit Fisto, Admiral Akbar, Nine Num with the helmet on, and maybe Max Rebo. I thought they looked cool, and that's it. So there's no way I'd be a completist for that. I was thinking of getting a Chrome Yoda or a Boba Fett, and I thought, nah, this is getting too much. Even with the vintage, I'm not a completist. I've got so many of them, and I've still got things from the 30th anniversary because they've got these unique figures. I've got some from Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. So it's quite a huge range of a mix, but it's more of, because it got to that point where, they're releasing so much, I can't afford to buy everything. I just buy either a favourite character or something that looks unique, or the packaging's looking good, and that's it. And I think I've been doing it now since the mid-90s, or probably even the early 90s, and I thought when it got to about 2008 or 9, there's nothing more coming out. I've bought enough. I need to spend my money on traveling. And especially, I remember after the Revenge of the Sith, I thought, there's no more movies, no more figures will come out. Clone Wars did. And hence, obviously, I bought a lot of those figures. But I thought, I'm going to go travel. And I ended up traveling a lot. But at the same time, I was buying figures and I was sending them to my friend's house while I was traveling. So it just never stops. But no, not a completist at all.
Yeah, I really recently didn't have anything. I lost everything probably about 10 or 15 years ago. I lost all my collection. I went into a fireplace, but that's a whole other story in itself. And I never really picked up collecting after that. And then I was at New York Comic Con with some collectors and podcasters, or I guess they're podcasters that collect or whatever. And, walking around with them, and I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll pick up this and I'll pick up that. And then I came home and it was just on eBay and just like, I want this one and this one and this one and this. And it just kind of went a little bit crazy. And then I was just picking up things like as they came out or trying to get other things. But since last October or September, when they had the Triple Force Friday, before the last movie came out, I've gotten every Black series that's come out since then, every Funko Pop. And there's a couple that I've missed that were exclusives or whatever, and now it's just it was $18 or $19 when it came out, and now they're selling for $80 or $100 on the secondary market, and it's like, well, when it will sit there on the list until I find one at a good price. I'm not going to pay 5 times it just to pick it up, but you find a good price. That's what a lot of I have over 200 books, and they're not really the novels or anything like that, or they're all I got some sitting next to me. They're all complete vehicles or prequels or character encyclopedias and dictionaries and all that, books like that, like all the ancillary material. There's a lot of Legends ones, like the prequels one I just said. That was made in, I think, 2008, but it's pre-Disney, so there's some stuff in there that might not be canon anymore. But it's still good to use as a reference material, because like I think what they're doing now a lot is, especially with The Mandalorian, I know you said that you read some Legends, or you were kind of into the Legends or the comic books. And when Disney and Lucasfilm decided, well, it's too crazy what's going on, so we're gonna start over, and we're gonna. Because like there was just so much different stuff in those years, and stuff that was so bad it doesn't make up for the good stuff. So now they're kind of like, what? We're scrapping all that. It was never canon. We're leaving it as Legends, and go ahead and call it Star Wars and like it if you want to, but it's not canon Star Wars. But go ahead and love it if you want to love it. Nobody cares. It's just not our story. And they kind of placed it where you now have, they have it where they can go back and they can pick and be like, that was a great idea that person had, and we're going to use this and put this in The Mandalorian and these things. So they're still paying homage to, something that you might have liked when you were growing up and that you read about. And, now you're seeing it again, and they're turning it into canon.
Yeah. And look, I remember just even the beginning of it all, Heir of the Empire, and it was a thing of like, Tales of the Jabba's Palace, Tales of the Bounty Hunters. They were great. But then it just got too much, and then I was going, this is a bit boring, and I thought, look how many books. I can't read all those books. But I've enjoyed what I've read, and I'm glad that was there. But even back then, I always thought, well, George even said, look, it's kind of, and the movies are still separate from the books. It's not like it's a continuing thing. So I've always treated it as like a Legends or non-canon anyway. So when it was no surprise to me, like, well, they're going to do new movies. Well, they've done every sequel for the last 20, 30, 40 years after Return of the Jedi anyway in books. So obviously there's no way they're going to be able to, make it connect. So it just makes sense that they'll scrap it. But like you said, it's great. You might see Admiral Thrawn in Rebels, or whatever else. I can't think on the top of my head, but yeah, like let's just bring this character in and get them to do something different. Why not? Keep it, and you can still enjoy. So I can still enjoy Heir of the Empire. It's not like it's the most best story in the world, but it's just more like a nostalgic thing another thing that I grew up with, that sort of memory, and that's just one thing I like and can always just enjoy it.
Yeah, and like I've read all the canon books. I think there's one or two that have come out that I haven't read of out of the 50 since 2012.
Good on you.
So well, yeah. Now we're on pace. I mean, it's going to be a little bit slow for the rest of the year, but coming in January, there's like one coming out. Well, I'm saying once a week, but a lot of them they're all come out on the same day. But that's what you're going to have with the Mando books and like the ancillary material with the dictionaries and everything. You're going to have novels, because especially with the High Republic being pushed back 6 months, but they still have all these books coming out at the same time. Instead of spacing out and saying, okay, everything's pushed back 6 months, they're like, no, you're getting 3 books on the same day. So that'll be interesting when you read. And then also hopefully I'll be getting some of the advanced copy books. I'm supposed to be getting some of those, but I don't really know. You're not always guaranteed every one, and there's so many different publishers out there. You got DK, Del Rey. I'm going to forget, Lucasfilm Publishing. I mean, those are just, 3 of your big ones. But your visual dictionaries and stuff, they come from Atlas or Imagine. And I mean, there's still a ton of other ones that I'm not, touching on. And it's like, I'd love to be able to get hooked up with all those people and, be able to get all those books for pre-screening. But that all takes time, but I got a couple of them, and it's just I don't know what I'm going to be getting. So I still have them on my Amazon list, and then once I get them, once I get the free copy coming, then I can cancel off my Amazon list. So saving me money that way, and that can go to buy more toys, or for Celebration. But yeah, I dipped into my Celebration fund once I was pretty sure it was going to be canceled. I started dipping into it and get some more of the obscure books or ones that have been on my list for a while. And because I figured I got another 2 years to come up with that, to save for Celebration. So even if I save $10 or $20 a week, that's more than enough. I got my tickets. All I gotta do is pay for $10 or $20 a week for the next 2 years. I'm in good shape.
Yeah, exactly.
I know with you it's a little bit different. I mean, if not trying to tell you how to do your savings and whatnot. I'm in no way a banker, but you have to stay you're going to be here. Most people say that, or like last year when they came to Chicago, they spent a couple days before or a week after or whatever. Yeah. So, you might need a little bit more spending money on that one than I do, but you're going to probably have a lot more fun because you're going to be here for 2 weeks where I'm, only going for 5 or 6 days. But, then there's Disney World too, or Disneyland too. And, that was the other thing that we were trying to plan out. They did have the Disney After Dark thing, but only one of the rides is going to be open, not the other one. And then do I want to, go to Disney for one full day afterwards? What if I don't get something done? I'm never going to, I'm not going to be back there again for years. So do I want to take 2 days to go to Disney? And then it was, just all these extra questions that it's like, it would be easier for me just to hop on a plane to drop down to, because I'm in New York City, to drop down to Orlando and go to Florida. It's a 2-hour trip right there. Boom. I could probably get a 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning flight. I don't even need to take anything with me. Just fly down there, go from the airport to Galaxy's Edge. I don't need a hotel. Just hit up Galaxy's Edge and fly back. I mean, it'll be $1,000 day, but it might be fun. So you don't have to spend the money on a hotel.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, I was talking to Dale. We're talking about, obviously, we found out Celebration's cancelled. This is all happening, but we're talking about it. And he said, he was talking about his work. I'd get 2 weeks off, and I said to him, mate, I'll figure it out. I'll have a good 3 or 4 weeks or whatever I want. And I'm thinking I'll be spending lots of money because, okay, I'm in the USA. Let's go here, there, the other. I'd love to meet some of these people that I've connected with through the Star Wars podcasting. And I've said to him, that's because it's one of my hobbies. I love to travel. I save money and I put it away to travel. And, as I know, traveling just in general, being the big countries like Brazil or Peru, knowing Australia is a big country, USA. So it's like, well, I'll just go to one section of it and I'll just try and see a little bit here and there, just a few states, and obviously Obi-Wan Rancho, Galaxy's Edge, this, that, the other. But, that'll be it. And then I'd obviously come again, but try and visit some people that I've met. And so, no, it wouldn't be a cheap affair. So I wouldn't just be coming for celebration. I wouldn't just be coming for 2 or 3 weeks. It'd be a bit longer. So, yeah, you're right. It'd be a big funding, a big saving event to have. Maybe I'll have to sort of locate myself over the USA and live there for a bit, just to save my travel. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what a lot of our friends did when they came from Australia. They got to Chicago, and then after Chicago, they went and California or New York City or whatever place they were going to go to, and that was some of our friends. This time they were going to, they did California, they were going to do New York, or they did New York when they were in the U.S. 5 years ago or 10 years ago. So they were going to do Boston, Philly, or whatever it was, because everybody's got a little different agenda, I guess, depending on what you've done. Like you said, you've never been here before, so your plan might be a little bit different than other people's that have been here before. So they don't need to come do stupid New York shit and see the Statue of Liberty and go to Times Square. That it's like people that like you won't catch me going in Times Square for anything unless I have a reason to. Unless there's a store that have to be there for, or something like that. But somebody comes to visit, it's like, okay, come on, let's go. I know you want to go to Times Square, and it's like going to a shopping mall on Christmas Eve, and all the guys are there trying to buy it because they forgot to buy presents for their wives, and it's like that's the worst place in the world that you can be.
Have you? Yeah. Oh, sorry. What were you going to say?
Oh no. So one of the questions that I always have, or every once in a while pops up. If they did Celebration Australia, where would it be? Sydney or Melbourne? Because those are the only 2 cities that ever really come up.
Yeah.
And I want to hear what you think. Where they would put it?
It's a really tough one. Look. I'm just trying to think what they're both equally, just as good. And there's always that thing of, say, people in Sydney hate the people from Melbourne, or there's a rivalry, or Melbourne don't like the Sydney siders. You get the same thing in, say, Spain, Barcelona, and Madrid. But they both cicada, because it's like, say, a good 20, 30 years ago, Melbourne was just quite a lot smaller in terms of a city than Sydney, and it's still a sort of a small city, but it's just boomed because it's got popularity. It's a great place to live, and it's got that different style of culture than Sydney. And it's not to say one's better than the other; they're just so different. I've not really lived in Sydney. I've had cousins and I've stayed there for a few months, and I know it well because, as I said, I used to live in Canberra, which is only like a 2 or 3 hour drive to Sydney. So I spent a lot of time there, and I used to love it. And then I thought, no, I'm going to check out Melbourne and go, I like Melbourne better. But tough question. But look, you want an answer, so I'm just going to say Melbourne. But I'd be curious if I honestly doubt any other place would be suitable for it. But I'd be curious if one of the other capitals like Perth or Adelaide or Brisbane or something would be good for it. But then you've got to think about your flights and those sorts of things from around the world.
Yeah, I think there's really no answer because everybody, as it should be here or there, and I think it's I might have it backwards, but I think it's Sydney for like the accommodations. And like they're newer, nicer, but Melbourne has the culture. Sydney has the food. But like, or it's the other way around, like museums and things that aren't Star Wars related. I can't remember right now. It's always one of the good Twitter cesspool debates that gets brought up. But it's usually somebody like me that just being an idiot and be like, so what do you think it would be? And then everybody starts putting their opinions on, and it's normally the Melbourne people say Melbourne, and then the Sydney people say Sydney, and then every once in a while you get people that will actually have a real conversation about it and be like, well, I think it has this and that, and it will give you a checklist of the pros and
Yeah.
cons. But those are very few and far between normally.
I think Sydney, in some ways, well, Melbourne will have it too, but Sydney could sort of accommodate in terms of accommodation and that sort of thing. And there's a few times I remember when we've had those Star Wars displays. Oh, and it's up in Sydney, and I'm going to go there for the weekend. I'm going to go and hang out with some family and some friends, and then I'm going to go and see this Star Wars exhibition. I think, and they've had one in Melbourne. Last one, I don't know, but I remember going to one 10 years ago. But even I think only 2 years ago, they had another one in Sydney at the Powerhouse Museum. So they've got that accommodation for those things. And I say, yeah, but as I said, Melbourne now has too. It's just grown so much in this last few decades. But yeah, I'd really have to think it out and put that whole checklist and put the pros and cons.
And that's, Americans, they don't know anything about Australia. They know put another shrimp on the Barbie, which is an Australian, and Crocodile Dundee, and the Olympics. The Olympics were there, and whatever it was, 1996 or 90, whenever the Olympics were there. So they know Sydney, but that's pretty much it. It's like, other than that, you don't really know. Like, they couldn't find Sydney on a map. They wouldn't know that it's all the way on the East Coast, and that they don't even know that there's a Melbourne, and then Melbourne's just kind of over, and then you cross over the water, and that's Adelaide. And these are the things that happen when you become friends with Star Wars Australians. Like, you kind of learn these things, and I only know like the very, very bare basics. But my girlfriend, she does watch. I learned some stuff too because Netflix had like an Australian thing on there. They had a bunch of shows. Like, they had Bondi Beach.
Yep.
It's like
I remember the show,
a real life Baywatch kind of thing. And then like some other like hotel ones, or like basically you're trying to have the best Airbnb, and they travel all over Australia. And I didn't know that Australia was the size of the US. I thought it was just some little tiny thing. And like, it's like, wait a second. You mean, it's 3,000 miles from one side to the other? It's the same, it's kind of like England. Everything's 20 minutes from each other.
Yeah.
England's small. Everybody knows each other. So.
Yeah. And it is interesting. It's a few times, to say for an example, I was living in Spain, in Madrid, and I met some other Americans, and we're just chatting, and I just said, oh, like, Australia's quite big. It's about the same size, or not bigger. I can't, think exactly. And I go, no way, really? And I go, yeah, look it up. Let's have a look on the map, And I go, and I wasn't like to say, oh, I'm educating you, just showing you. And it's the same things to say. I've got an idea of a lot of where things are located in Central America, where they are in South America, where they are in Europe, because I've just traveled a lot around there in Southeast Asia. I love it, and I've had the time. But say if you tell me about where things are in distance to the USA, or I don't know, like, or Africa, I wouldn't be able to tell you because I haven't been there. I haven't sort of researched it or looked at it. But yeah, when you get that feel of, or having those differences, going to places like England or Europe where it's just a couple of hours, you go on a speed train, it's easy travel, you're there. Whereas, say, Australia, South America, you're on a long bus journey, and then the geography, going up and down the hills, it's going to take you forever to get there. So it's just getting to know it and getting to know the culture.
Well, the other thing, too, is if you look at a map or a globe, Africa and the United States look like they're the same size. And, Africa is, I don't know how many times bigger. Or, Asia and the US look like the same size. And Australia looks like it's a quarter of the size when you're looking at a map or at a globe. So, maybe I'm going to say that we're not all that stupid. Maybe it's, the tools we have to look at. But we you really don't know unless you're watching, the History Channel or nature channels or things like that. But even now, like, you turn on the History Channel, it's about aliens. You don't even get history anymore, or the same thing with like the Discovery Channel or Science channels around here. It's all aliens, because that's what gets people watching. Nobody cares about World War II documentaries anymore. It's what aliens were landing at Area 51 or
Yeah,
So
I'll tell you. Especially now since we've been, locked down, we can't go out. And I mean, I always have a certain amount of time of things that I watch on TV, whether I'm watching movies or TV shows. But like in Australia, we've got this so I don't have Netflix or any of that. I've got SBS on demand, and it's just a international sort of, it's just a TV station, and then you just obviously just put it on the internet, just streaming things, and they'll have some movies. And for an example, we've got an Adam Driver special or something, and so there was a movie Tracks, and it was just based on an Aussie a female who went through the desert with camels in the 70s, and it was based on history. Which was great, and it was funny. Adam Driver's in it. And he's just in there a little part. He's acting like really dorky and just the photographer did it really well for National Geographic. So there's something that you're sort of learning about history. There was another Star Wars actor, Mads from Rogue One. He was in a movie called The Royal Affair, based in the 1769. King of Denmark. He was a German physician to help the king because he was going mad, and he was his doctor. And then it was about the Enlightenment, and I looked up the history compared to the movie, and it was quite accurate. So, and another one Adam Driver did on that SBS on demand was the man who killed Don Quixote, and it was just so funny. So it was. And one I watched last night, Benicio del Toro in The Last Jedi. I watch a lot of his films in general because, I speak some Spanish, and I'm still learning. It's not the best, and I love that Latin American culture, and hearing the Spanish. And he was playing Escobar, and a side story with his niece and his niece's lover and this sort of thing. So another thing based on history, and I mean, I'm not sure how accurate that one was, but good few different cultural shows, and get you to know about each country or place or historical events. So but it's the sort of thing that you got to look for those channels and find them, and yeah.
now you said that you read a lot of the Legends books. Have you kept up with the canon novels? Because we're going to have Celebration in 2022, but we're not going to have any movies till 23, and we're going to have nonstop books starting next January. We're going to have The Mandalorian and a couple cartoons, and then all the other live action shows are kind of rumored or up in the air, and it's like, so like we have Cassian, we have Kenobi, but they haven't started filming yet. There's rumors that they're going to start. There's rumors that Kenobi's going to start filming. I think next month, but is that going to be scouting, or is the scouting already done, and that's going to be like pre-production and getting sets built and getting everything done? That's still also all up in the air, but I mean, that means that we'd get, turnaround in about a year. If they started filming, so we'd get it next fall or next summer for Kenobi. And it's just what I'm basing it on, what the turnover was with Mandalorian, and they shoot it really quickly because they have the volume now, so they can shoot it much more quickly. And everything's digital, so they can change it easy. It's easier for them to change. So they can then your turnover is not as long as it would be. But it's just all comes down to So I mean, no movies now for a couple of years. So what are we going to get at Celebration in 2022? I mean, that's 2 years away, so it's kind of impossible to even speculate because are we going to be on the Mandalorian season 4? Or 5? Are we going to be on Kenobi season 2 or 3? Are we going to be on Cassian season 2 or 3? Is it going to be the revived Rebels, season 3? I mean, so it's like it's kind of hard to even speculate. But the other thing is, what do you think we would have got at Celebration this year?
Oh, that
Like,
that would have been. Surely they would have had a trailer for the season 2 of Mandalorian at least. If it was on, if it still went as planned. Um, but yeah, you're right. Obviously, because of this disruption with the with the world, that's delayed. Obviously, yeah, all those projects. So I have no idea now what they would do because everything. I feel everything's really been pushed back a lot to this. So you're right. Is it just to focus on now books, comics, other formats? Because we're not able to get all the filming and people together in the same sort of rooms. Yeah,
that's
and
that's what I was saying. I've had this theory that they were going to do the push behind make Solo 2 happen, or the second Solo movie. I've had this theory for a while that they were going to do it the same way that Netflix did the Marvel shows, and you had Daredevil and Jessica Jones, like different shows that they're all tied together but they're separate, and the only difference is that they happen in the same city, so you get some name dropping and some crossovers and things like that. But and this is, and then, like I claim, like, oh yeah, because I don't have any sources, but talking to people, whether they're actors or authors or, illustrators, and they say how they were supposed to, they can't tell you anything, but they kind of don't, like, oh, well, I would have probably been in the US by now if COVID would have happened, or I would have been working on this story or that story. So, I've kind of put things together in my own head canon. That's what they were working on. And then recently we got the reports that they were going to do the Lando series, and they were going to do a Maul Kira series, and some other things are supposedly in the work. So, like, my theory, even though it wasn't a theory because it was just based off of what I think they should do or the best way to do it, especially because they came out too and they said, all right, Disney Plus, we're going to focus on that. We're not going to focus on movies or anything right now. But they were still making the movies at that time, but Disney Plus was going to be their focus. And the Mandalorian was kind of their guinea pig, and now they know what they can do, and they know that they can, if they wanted to, they could probably if they had it written, they could probably turn a show around in six months from filming it and doing it. They could film something now and have it out for Christmas. Maybe not Christmas, that might be a little soon, but like with the way they have everything set up now, that wouldn't really be an issue. But so that year is really good. And then, I don't know, we'll just see. And, it's and not like I have any bragging rights because I'm not a scooper, and it's not like I can say on this date, I put this tweet out and this is how it's going to be. It's just, I've been saying it and it kind of keeps evolving and then kind of, gets to it. So,
yeah. Look, it's kind of, in some ways it's good for a break, but it's going to be too long of a break because what's happened in the world is just going to disrupt things and delay things to whenever it could probably sometimes be unpredictable. But I like, I enjoyed that. Oh well, every 2 years we're going to have the sequel trilogy, but and then a year later, but in between we're going to have these Star Wars story movies, and then it was just a thing of like. In some ways, it was a lot and it was too much, especially when they released The Last Jedi and then 6 months later Solo came out. And then it was weird a year and a half later Rise of Skywalker. But, I had no expectations for Solo or Rogue One. I'm thinking, they're just going to steal the plans. What? For Rogue One or what? Mm-hmm. And then watching them going, wow, I'm blown away. This is great. This is exciting. So I feel like, and it's even The Mandalorian on top of that, like even just having that out and season 2 coming up. So it's great. But I think maybe I might get into some books. I've got Audible as well, or reread a few ones. Like one of the ones, like as I said, I hadn't read a lot of books, but I have read a few. I read The Dark Disciple with Master Voss, Quinlan Voss, and Arj Ventress, and that's part of canon. Yeah, the episodes they never got to make in the Clone Wars. So, kind of like those characters. So that was a good book. And I'm actually I read it. I actually physically read the book, but I've got an Audible. I might listen to that again. I might even take some time to go through some of my comics and find out what my favourite stories are, because there was. I remember they did Legacy, which was about 150 years in the future, and obviously that's, who knows, it'll all be different now because of the new, canon, and that was written late 2008 or whenever it was. But I remember, I like the Clone Wars, but I don't obviously like every single episode or every season. But the episodes and the ones I love, I like to try and rewatch those. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's probably what I'll have to do until more material keeps coming. Because I'm actually, it's great that season 2 of Mandalorian's coming out, but I'm sort of concerned. Is season 3 now going to be delayed with disruptions? What's the future hold? Where we're going, and how's it going to affect our Star Wars?
I mean, that's the thing. You could watch, 2 episodes of Clone Wars a week, and it's going to last you over a year. And then you could watch 2 episodes of Rebels, and that's going to last you, I don't know what there 40 or 50 of those, so that's going to last you another 6 months. So you could just watch the cartoons, every couple of days, watch one, to do a rewatch or whatever. And I mean, I would just binge them and have them done in a week, but that's because there's something wrong with it. But so like, I mean, you could, if you were a normal person and just wanted to fit those extra things in there because you don't have, movies coming up or whatever it is, you could do what I think it's 120 episodes of Clone Wars, so that would last you a little over a year, like I said, and then, I mean, hell, if you wanted to do one a day, that would last you 4 months. So, and then by the time you're done with that, and then rewatch it again and do it in order that they came out, and then do them in chronological order or chronological order, because for the most part, they've come out in regular order, except I don't have it on me. But there's a list that, in season 1, one of the episodes should be in season 3 time wise.
Gotcha. Yeah,
and that's how, when I did my rewatch this time, I actually have a book that lists all of the episodes and has it in a chronological order, and like explains each episode for you. Gilster asked, what is normal? Normal is people that normal is people that are in a chat right now talking about Star Wars and talking on the other side of the world. You drill a hole through my house to his house, and they it probably meets halfway through. I don't know how. I mean, you're 14 hours ahead of me, so you're on the other side. So but that's what it's just funny though too, talking with people. And I met somebody, like I was saying, I just kind of use Facebook, hey, go watch my channel and subscribe to it and whatever. And there's not that much conversing with people on my end. I've had a couple of people that have tried to talk to me and become, like friends or whatever. And not that I don't want to become their friends, but I'm like, listen, I just use Facebook to post Star Wars memes and to check in with Facebook groups. I don't, like, if you want to, like, hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on Instagram. Like, that's kind of what I use those for. But yeah, so I don't even remember what the hell I was saying. Oh yeah, so like I met somebody from the Philippines that does like tour reveals, and he has he just started his channel not too long ago, and he has quite a popular channel, because in the Philippines it's not that easy to get Star Wars toys, and they're more expensive. So when he does a video for like for like one of the Black Series helmets, over here it costs $100 to $150 for it. Over there it's $300 or $400 or whatever it is by the time you get it shipped there and everything. So over here there's 10 people doing videos for it. Over there's only 2 or 3. So it's like the channel that's just kind of there's not as much competition for local
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
someone that I don't even know what dialect they speak in the Philippines, Spanish and English and whatever their native
I don't
language
know.
or Pacific Islander languages, or
So I actually don't know. There you go.
I'm gonna say the wrong thing because I'm gonna be like whatever
Yeah,
the Asian language they speak over there is, or I don't even know what it is, but I think they speak a bunch of different languages there. So it's like obviously people in the Philippines are gonna watch their natural dialect with him versus me, where I can do 4 times as many videos for the same amount of money, but they're not gonna understand me. So. But yeah, he was in the chat a couple weeks ago. So it's funny that being able to converse with people, and then because I know what time it is on Australia, I know what time around it is in Japan and the Philippines because they're around the same time. They might be they're a couple hours off, but still I know that it's I know that right now it's what time is it right now? Right now it's 12 or almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon for you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And
So it's like,
yeah,
and they're gonna be around the same. Maybe they're 12 hours or whatever. Yeah. So
usually 2 hours or 4 hours behind or something. Asia and that. So yeah.
Yeah, it's just Star Wars nerds. It makes you smart being a Star Wars nerd, I guess.
It's fun. I mean, you can take it so many different ways, and I think like the other thing too, when you mentioned before the visual dictionaries, I love getting those, and I just love looking at all their weapons, their costumes, their little gadgets, everything they do, and it's sort of like when a movie comes out, I have to get that visual dictionary and look through it like as soon as possible, just to sort of get a bigger sense of that what's happening in that world, and it's just it's just great. Just seeing a close up of all the characters and hearing a bit about their culture, or like when you mentioned, I remember when Revenge of the Sith came out, and I got the visual dictionary, and I thought I'm not going to look at it until I've watched the film. As soon as we went to the midnight screening, and on the way home in the car, we got the book open. We're sitting in the back, we're reading it, and then we read, Obi-Wan had a romantic affair or something with someone, or something happened there, and it was all secret. And then obviously, that got all scrapped because the Clone Wars came out not long after that, and then Disney and everything. So, but yeah, it's just another little story, another little thing that you can find. Good fun.
So, all right. Anybody have any questions? Anybody want to hop on here and talk to? Do you go by Michael or Mike?
Oh, Michael's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm the same way. You can, if you call me Mike, I'm going to answer, but it's always going to be, if you ask me what do you prefer, Michael, just because if I hear somebody yell Michael, chances are I'm going to turn around and look. If I hear somebody yell Mike, I'm not going to, just because everybody yells Mike. So.
Okay, yeah. I'll turn around for both.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know. I stopped doing that a while ago. But let's see here. Why isn't this working for me?
Oh yeah, you got everything where it fell apart, the whole technology thing.
Yeah, we make it work.
Yeah, exactly. I was a bit worried our power went out just before this happened, but it's restored.
Oh, for you it did?
Yeah, it was only for a short time, so didn't disrupt anything.
Let's see if I can get the comment in here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so there you go. It's posted in the chat into YouTube, and it's posted in there for Twitch. Mm-hmm. I've been having a problem. My one buddy was in Facebook because it's streaming on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook right now. And my one buddy was in Facebook last week talking to me, and the messages weren't coming through. And I just didn't. It was actually Saturday night, and I haven't had a chance to figure out why. They were showing up in the chat, but I wasn't getting them, and I should get all of them on my screen. So we'll see what that's about. But So now, what do you have for like a Grail? Because you have somewhat of a decent collection. I mean, of course, that's all relative, but I mean, you can see behind you, you have quite a bit, and you said that you picked up all those ones in the '90s. What's like your Grail?
Hmm. I guess, yeah, what like seeing this in the background, and then those retro style. I guess I'd even just pick anything, from here, sort of thing, like just sort of, like what I grew up with. Just that. That's what I love.
You're both is Boba Fett your favorite?
One of the many. Gosh, and I always hate this, and it's a hard one because you want to give so many characters, so many different attentions. Like, I love Lando, and always, love R2D2 because he's just brilliant, involved in all these adventures. So these are the sort of the hard things to answer, like picking one, but I always sort of have a bit of an obsession with Nine or Admiral Akbar or something. Just
Well, yeah, because you said the Funkos that you had their kind of secondary or third characters when you have Kit Fisto and Plo Koon or whoever it was that they're not your normal ones, and they but that's where it is hard for me because it's like you ask people, oh, my Grail, and they're gonna be like, oh, it's my this figure or that figure, because a lot of times it's whichever one's most expensive, or that's what I would grab to leave the house. And it's like like the most expensive one I have, Funko Pop that I have, I got for free from Funko. I don't know how I got it. If it was like sometimes they do giveaways on Twitter. I don't know if I got it from that or when at New York Comic Con. You were supposed to say which Funkos you wanted, out of like the list of like 20. You were allowed to mark like 3 of them or whatever it was. And the top of my list was the Mandalorian one. Well, it was worth $500 a couple weeks ago. Now it's down to like 420 or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, I like that one because it's cool. It's from New York Comic Con, but the one that I like more is the Darth Maul from Celebration, because it was my first Celebration to go to. And even though it's worth a tenth, it's worth a tenth of the price. Now, if I was running out of the house because my house was on fire, I'd probably grab that Mando, because I could sell that Mando and get, that Maul, or, I'm not gonna be able to replace that. But it's like, honestly, my like probably the most treasured possession I have is my Star Wars spelt out beanie, that Josh, and it's not, and it's because of the sentimental values, and Josh handed him out, and then we knew that we were part of somewhat, kind of like a group, or we knew, this person because you're wearing the hat, and trying to get it all, figured out that way. It was just easy, and if I'm going somewhere, I take that hat with me. I take a picture of it, and it's not because of COVID I haven't been able to do it. But anywhere I went, I'd take pictures in New York City, or I was in Buffalo and Niagara Falls and taking pictures with it. So at a barbecue, pig pickings and roast and anything like that. So it's just kind of I like doing it. It's fun. I don't know. I should be like a 20-year-old millennial with the shit I'm doing, not a 45-year-old man. I'm not 45 either. I'm only barely 40, but it sounds better that way.
Yeah. Well, we'll just say that anyway. But I'm the same. But I mean, look, I probably pointed that it's just because of the nostalgic thing, or just I like that uniqueness look, and it's like, wow, they re-released it how it was when I grew up as a kid. So that's and how I said it's hard to choose. It's just it's not having the whole set. It's just having a figure like that. It's. You'd think, is it sort of unique, or why is it sort of so treasured? Is it worth a lot? It wasn't expensive, but it's just more of that kind of look, or what you like, how you like it put together, I guess. Yeah.
So, all right.
Okay. Well, I'll
Let's
probably
see.
have to head off soon. I'm sorry because
Oh no, listen, you gave me, over an hour. That's more than I
yeah,
that's more than I ask. And I always warn everybody that, right now if I say, hey, you want to stick around while I open up a couple things up, you might say, yeah, sure. And then somebody else comes on and starts talking, and it's like,
3 hours.
get out, you got something to do in a little while, get out while you can, because it's a Star Wars thing, and somebody's gonna come on and you're gonna get stuck talking about, the difference in the blaster rifles and the modification that was made for an hour, and the next thing you know, you forgot to pick somebody up from work or from school, and then you're in the shit house. But well, all right, man. Thank you very much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Once again, tell everybody where they can find you.
Okay, thanks for having me on the show. So It's True All of It, a Star Wars podcast. We are It's True All of It 33 at gmail.com, and we're at Instagram, it's True All of It 33, and on Twitter, it's it_wars. And there's our main sources of communication. And we'll probably have an episode of the 40th anniversary of The Empire Strikes Back, because in Australia, in August is when it was released 40 years ago. And a bit of a fun episode because there'll be a few little surprises there, all Empire Strikes Back related. All good fun, good laugh.
Yeah, and one of the it's funny because people are like, "Oh, you're a network? Who else on your network?" Well, it's me, but I have 5 different shows. I'm a network of one with a lot of friends. And Rural Farm Boy pops on here a lot, or when I go, my one show's the Holocron House, where I go through the books, and I'll go through the visual dictionaries, page by page. So it might take me 20 hour long sessions to do one of the books, but that way, there's some people in the chat that are usually there, they can catch later because they don't have the book. And it's like, that's what I want to do. I want to bring Star Wars to everybody. And if I could just photocopy it and mail it to them, I would, but it would get a little expensive that way. It's easier for me just to sit around and talk about it. And it's a good way to force me to read it too, because not that I need to be forced to, but you get 4 books in the same week. It's like, which one do I want to read? And then you put them on the shelf, and then other things come in and you forget, like, oh, I never read that book from 2 movies ago. And, so this way it kind of it gets me to do it. So yeah, anytime you, one of the other shows I do, Kylo Customs Squad, he's in the chat. I do a show with him. He's been a little bit under the weather lately, so I've just kind of flying solo doing them. But it's collecting with Kylo. So anytime you want to come on and show your collection or talk about collecting with him, or sometimes we're pulling some other people, just hit me up. Feel free, and we'll do it, because I mean, this is what I like to do. I like to talk Star Wars with anybody, and it's funny that I think we talked. Star Wars was always involved in our conversation somehow, but it wasn't the main point. No. And it's funny because, like, when I go and meet people that I'm friends with from Twitter or Facebook or YouTube, and I meet them in real life, you talk a little bit about Star Wars, but you talk about everything else. In your life, and it's kind of like, it kind of gets put to the back burner. When I had the guys on last week, I think we were about 45 minutes in, and we talked about, like, how they got into Star Wars, but that was the only thing for Star Wars we talked about for 45 minutes. And then it was like, okay, let's talk about some Star Wars news. But this week there's really no news going on. We got a book cover. We got a book cover, and that was it. And that's why I kind of like this format where, I told you it's not an interview because I talk way too much for it to be an interview. So all right, man. Thank you very much for stopping by, and you're welcome anytime. And stop by in the chat, and it's usually it'd be around this time every Tuesday afternoon for you. If you want to stop on and talk about whatever Star Wars you want.
Will do. I'll see you again. Okay, thanks. Goodbye, everybody.
Right. Thanks, Michael. All right, and that was Mike Zarbo of It's True All of It, a Star Wars podcast. And like you said, you'll find Dale on it_wars on Twitter, and you're gonna find him on Facebook. So it's kind of, he's a Facebook guy. Dale's the Twitter guy. I need to get a guy because I don't know, man. I can't. I don't do either one well. I need to get somebody to run all my social medias for me for free. Yeah, Kylo, just shut up and let the guests talk. Yeah. So, all right, everybody. If you're listening to the podcast version of this, thank you very much for stopping by. And if you want to catch the whole version, you can catch it over on YouTube. It is session number 30. With that, I say good day. May the force be with you. And scene. Okay. All right, people. So what do we got going on? So yeah, that was it's fun. I'm having a lot of fun with this this August is Australia month. I hope you guys are too. It's just interesting. I don't know. Anybody want to come on here? I put that on there a little while ago. Oh, we got somebody to come on here. Let's see who we got. Who do we got today? We got nobody today. What's going on, Jay? What happened is the last time you were on, you hijacked the show, so you used up all your internet for the month. I don't know. I'm just making that up, but
yeah. I saw him, and I mean, like, it's so he's all the way from Australia, huh?
Everybody that's been on so far this week has been Australia. The first week we had Josh Chapman. He has Star Wars spelt out. That's where my beanie that I was wearing a couple weeks ago. That's where I got that from. And then he also does the Peppa Pig podcast. And then last week we had Matt and Sean from Blue Bacta. And next week we're gonna have Duty from Shaken Not Nerd. And then the last week in August, last Monday in August.
Kind of a bit awkward. Somehow or another, been having a little trouble trying to understand the Condor there a little bit. So, man, I don't know why. I think I'm having some sort of a connection going on. So, I hope everything's good. So,
everything's
Condor,
good on my end.
Can you hear me, buddy?
I can hear you. It might be you might got the Jawas back.
Well, been having a little trouble there. You kind of. Oh, can you hear me now? Hello.
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you the same, but buddy, it's last week or 2 weeks ago you were on and your internet worked fine.
Yeah, and everything was clear, and now it's starting to go.
Okay. We got mail someone to come on. Maybe we'll get Gilster on here or Pauline to come on and talk with us. You guys haven't been on. Mr. Rez kind of came on a long time ago.
Everything worked pretty good, and that.
Somebody do me a favor. Send Andy and Josh from Holochronicles. Send them a note or send them a message. And let them know
I remember,
that I'm going to be
Mr. Red
opening my box up.
Coming on.
Because Mr. Rez, if you could do that for me, or Gilster, hit up the Holochronicles guys and tell them that I'm going to be opening something up. Make sure Kylo's in here too, because this is up Kylo's alley.
Oh, cool. Cool.
So what's going on, Jay? Pauline says nope, she's not coming on. Okay.
Yeah. And nothing much.
Pauline, right.
It's just
Pauline, you can always do this.
Rough with this quarantine. It's just been a little bit awkward on this corner.
I understand.
Yeah.
All right, just offering if you wanted to come on. But you can always do that.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to show yourself, some people are shy. Mr. Rez isn't shy. Mr. Rez doesn't like hearing himself talk.
Yeah.
Which I'm not a big fan of it, especially when I'm talking and I use a lot of and there's and ums and whatever, and I'm trying to work on it.
Yeah.
But when I get going and I get talking and my brain's moving faster than my mouth, or my mouth is I don't know, however it works out to be. And you got to use a lot of qualifiers or expanders or whatever the hell they're called. But yeah, this what I have, this package. I can't hit up. I got to use my phone to hit up the Holo Chronicles guys. But if I use my phone to hit up the Holo Chronicles guys, I have to get out of StreamYard, and I can't do that. What do we got? What do we got going on in the chat? Is that even possible? I don't know. I don't know what's going on in the chat. I don't know if Kyle said, "Is that even possible to me?" or if that's something going on in the chat. But,
well,
yeah. So
I mean, I did have like some. I did kind of ask.
I actually do have the.
I did ask
Micro Machines.
A question. I did kind of ask a question on there, but for everybody in the chat, that if anybody got any questions, what I. What?
Well, I guess I don't think anybody's got any questions for you.
About that.
I know you told me you told me that you had a couple things to talk about. Jay.
To be honest, though, Michael. Well, I mean, like. Yeah. Well, I did have like one other game I had, but it's on Dreamcast, and it was on Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer.
Okay,
have you ever heard of that one, Michael?
Yeah, why don't you? I told you last time you were on. Wait until I get my computer back. I have all those games. I got like 30 Star Wars games on my computer. Wait till I get those back so I can start playing them. Then we can talk about them then, instead of keep talking about them all the time. I'm just waiting to get that computer back. Oh, that sound like a deal? All right, let's see here.
Right. Yeah, that'd be good. It's just that I mean, like, I do have a couple of. I did have like a couple of other type movies around, but mostly though, it's just that I've been. There's only one thing that kind of gets me a little bit though. Is that why in the world would some parts of the old trilogy it's almost based in the Bible? I mean, that's kind of a little bit awkward on me.
Okay, so when George Lucas did the original trilogy, it was based on religious principles.
Like
that's where your Force comes in.
Like somehow like
I lost you there, but yeah. So I mean, the Star Wars has always been about religion and politics, and he took a lot of like the Buddhist and Middle Eastern philosophies and blended them together. to get the Force and the Jedi and the meditation. And like the easiest way to think about it is the Jedi are comparable to like monks, Buddhist monks, where they're trained, and don't get fucking mad at me, people, but if I call it the wrong thing or whatever, but they're trained in their martial arts. I think it's kung fu, because karate's Japanese. So I think so, and if I'm wrong, shut up. Nobody cares. So like they're training kung fu, and they could whoop your ass. But the whole thing is they train their entire life where like they don't do belts for it. It's just you build on your knowledge. Where over here, we need rankings and everything like that, and we need to know that you're a black belt, you're a brown belt, whatever. Over there you're just taught by family members, and you go, to become a monk, and you're taught, and there's so much more. They're practicing every day and doing it every day. And where we're going to karate classes once a week or whatever it is, they're doing it all the time. But a monk is going to sit there and be peaceful and do whatever he can to resolve the issue with meditation and thinking and things along those lines. But if he needs to, he's going to whoop your ass and put you in the fucking hospital. And that's if you're lucky. And that's the same thing with the Jedi. That's the way the Jedi are supposed to be. The Jedi are supposed to be the keepers of peace, that we learn about. And they weren't supposed to fight, and they were supposed to meditate, and they were supposed to do everything. But if they need to fight, they will. So when we find the Jedi before the Sith were all about meditating and everything like that, and finding ways to use the Force, for better. And that's why Rey reads the ancient texts, whether she knows how to heal because of the ancient texts, or it's just something that comes to her, because certain Jedi can do certain things, and she's one of the the best, because that's just the way it happens. That's the way the story goes. So she's not a Mary Sue, or that's a whole other conversation we can have about something else if you want to get punched in the face. Not you personally, just anybody else. But so I mean, it just comes down to it's always been religion, and that's where they're based out of. And I have a bunch of books on my shelf that are the politics of Star Wars, and the art of war of Star Wars, and the psychology of Star Wars, because George, that's why people. That's why people levitate to Star Wars, because George was focused. It's not talked about as much as the religion and the politics, but George was focused so heavily on the psychology and the way people act and the way people react. And that's why, even if you don't like it, the way that Luke is in The Last Jedi makes complete sense from a psychology standpoint. And like Gilster just said, Kenobi couldn't heal Qui-Gon. He didn't know how to.
Yeah.
It wasn't taught to him. Or he didn't know, or he didn't have that skill. Just like
no, he was just a Padawan.
Yeah, but I mean, these are things that does Rey find out about it? Does Rey? All right, like Rey shoots the lightning because that's something she can do. Other Jedi can't do that. Mace Windu, I think Mace Windu and Yoda could see shatter points, so they could look kind of like just to make it easy, because most people know this.
Because he's a Palpatine.
But Doctor Strange, and whatever the fucking Marvel movie was, tells him, he's like, listen, I looked at 13 million different scenarios, and this is the only one that we come out successful. That's kind of how shatter points work. They can see, okay, this is what's going to happen. And that's when I was talking with Alberto, and a conversation that came up is maybe Yoda sees the shatter points and knows that knows what's going to happen, and seeing the shadow points is kind of like seeing the future, but you don't see everything laid out like a movie. You just see bits and pieces, or something's going to happen, and then but he knows that he can't interfere, just like Yoda tells Anakin and tells Luke, that it's not clear when you see premonitions or you see the future. It's not clear what you're seeing. You don't know why it's happening. So when Anakin sees Padme dying, it's because of Anakin or because of Palpatine killing Padme that he sees her dying. Where if he would have done anything, that would have never happened. But let's see. Gilster said something else. But Rey can. I mean, Rey either learned through the ancient Jedi texts, how to force heal, or she either learned about it or knew that it was possible, or it was one of the things that was sent down because Qui-Gon wasn't a Force ghost because he didn't learn that skill, but he's in between now because he's not actually a ghost. And he teaches to be a Force ghost. He teaches that to Obi-Wan. He teaches to Obi-Wan how to be a Force ghost. So we don't know exactly what happens with Qui-Gon, and Qui-Gon's coming to Yoda and talking to Yoda.
Whoa, wait.
I'm waiting, dude. I'm waiting.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's right there. That's where see, in somewhere on the Clone Wars, in the Clone Wars, there is one thing about with Qui-Gon that if I do remember correctly, I remember seeing it on YouTube and stuff like that. Qui-Gon contacted to Yoda about coming to Dagobah, and to trying to help Qui-Gon to achieve another level in the Force, and that's going to make him a Force ghost. That way we can. That way he can. Be more one to the Force, and also that helps Yoda to become one with the Force, and also that would help Obi-Wan Kenobi in Episode 3 to train him so he could be more one with the Force when Obi-Wan finally dies in Episode 4, A New Hope, when he comes when he faces Anakin, aka Vader, for the last time, and then that way he becomes a Force spirit and a voice that he can be one. That way he can speak to him and everything else, and same thing. So that way. Oh, and also I almost forgot to mention that Obi-Wan did say that he cannot interfere with the final confrontation between Luke and his father because he can't interfere with something like that. He wished he could, but he couldn't because that's not how the Force. That's not how he's supposed to do. I mean, Force ghosts cannot interfere with the living. They only could do it as a spiritual guide.
We don't know why. We don't know that. We don't know why he can't do that. We just know that they can't interfere. Now, are they saying that they can't interfere because Force ghosts, according to the Force, are allowed to interfere with humans or living creatures? Or are they telling Luke when he goes in Empire that we can't interfere because it's not the way of the Force, it's not the way of the Jedi. If Luke's going to go and do it, he's on his own. That's kind of like his punishment. He didn't stay, Luke should stay and get trained. Because what happened when Luke went on Empire and tried to save his friends, what happened? Absolutely nothing. He didn't do anything. Once again, Luke was a failure and did not get anything completed except cutting off his hand. So he goes back to Yoda, where he should have been training the entire time, and doesn't advance his training at all. But he does fight Vader, where that's like a test that he needs to do. So I mean that's so we don't know yet where
like I mean no well, to be honest though, Michael, the only thing I could say about that about with the test and everything, that Luke didn't actually fit, he didn't actually knowing something was wrong. He never even expected to be this way. The only thing he failed is because he still looked towards the horizon, and he never even see the whole big picture of who Vader really was until Vader told him right then that, because of now emotions exploded inside of Luke, and he just like, what? It's like, are you crazy? Or like, like, this is totally blowing my mind, dude. Something like that. I mean, but I think he don't actually, I think that's the reason why he failed, because he never actually realized, he never seen the whole big picture. All he sees is just what's right in front of him. Because sometimes though, you could see things in like a good little clear picture, but sometimes though you have to just study a little bit more so you can see the picture. Luke didn't. The reason why he failed, like I said though, he only looked toward the horizon. Like I said, he only see what's right in front of him. He don't see the whole big picture and the whole plot.
Yep. We have a question here from Gilster also. Where did Luke get the text from? Did he find him, Laura Santeca? And Mr. Rez says that, I think that's what he says. It's a good question too. And Pauline, if there's something you don't like, go ahead and say you don't like it. I mean, that's the whole thing. You just don't say how you want J.J. Abrams to die because he ruined your life, or whatever. And but if you want to say that you don't think the sequels had any logic, I will tell you that they did. I mean, the sequels were a shit show, and we can talk for hours about that, about why it was a shit show and what should have been done differently, or what we would have liked to been done differently, but we don't really have any say in it because it's not our story. But with Luke, I think as far as we know, that the books were on the island. The books were on Octo. So, it doesn't really matter. Not that I'm not saying it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The books were on Octo. That's why, Pauline, I didn't mean you personally. I just mean, that's why anybody can come on here and talk or whatever. But it's, you don't like a movie, you can talk about why you don't like the movie. You just can't be a piece of shit about it. Otherwise, or Mr. Rez, he's mean. He's got a wrench. He'll kick you off. But yeah, as far as I know, Gilster says it's just for canon. As far as I know, the books were on the island.
Yeah, you really don't want to make that guy angry.
So like that's when Yoda comes down and talks to them. Yoda knows the books are there. Yoda says to him, "Hey, did you get a chance to read them?" And that Luke says they're not page turners. And that's where it comes into. Also, they actually talk about in the I think 3 of the 7 that there's 7 ancient books or texts, because I think a couple of the books are actually multiple volumes. Sorry, and They talk about the
Don't worry about
differences in the books, but they only think I barely talk about 3 of them. So there's still another 4 books that they have to talk about or dissect. And you know, it's not in any, as far as I know, it's not in any it's not in any of the comic books or anything, how she learned, you know, how the books got there. As far as we know, they were there. They've always been there. And you had the caretakers that were there, and not that they were really taking care of the books, but you know, I mean, whatever. And no, Pauline, I mean, if you want to talk about something you don't like, go ahead and talk about it. You sure, you know, I do. All the time, and I'm not the nicest person when I say things. I mean, we got fucking dipshit McDipshitson, you know, in his book over here, and somebody was like, "Oh, it's not nice to make fun of people." Well, no, when you write a piece of shit, then you're gonna get called a piece of shit. But you know, when you're purposely writing a book just to make money, which I understand, but you're making it seem like you know what you're talking about, and then that makes other people think that, oh, I'm being educated, when they're actually, you're just giving them bullshit. But I don't know, Mr. Rez or somebody. Can somebody hit up the Holo Chronicles guys and see if Andy, hit up Andy, see if he's free to come in here, so I can do a what's in the box. The what's in the box has to do with Andy, so that's the only reason I talked to him the other day. I told him to come after the show, but he was still going. But
yeah.
Or here, Jay, you keep everybody company for a minute. I'm going to try and talk to.
Well, yeah. It's. Oh, okay. Well,
I told you to keep talking.
I have to say that. Okay. Well, well, guys, I just want to say that life is not what is expected. Though. My niece. I'm going to do a little off topic, just a little bit. My niece, somehow or another, she got like a false positive of a COVID-19, and I mean, like, it's just, I don't know. So I mean, like, and now I have to be at quarantine because thought that she does have COVID-19, but I think it's not. But I think what test that she got was like, it was not accurate. So my boss told me to be on the safe side to get myself tested. I'm going to get one tomorrow and stuff like that. So hopefully it's negative and I can go back to work. Oh, boy, life in a house is stuck in the house is way beyond my own. Oof. I mean, like, there's nothing much else to do except just play my games. I mean, like, right now I'm doing Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker on the GameCube, which it's pretty cool though. Mama likes the talking boat and everything. I really like it though. And I do have one other game that's on my PS2, but I know that y'all don't have it or something like that. But called Aragon. Now, I believe you might saw the movie Aragon back in 2006 about a dragon that was his name's Saphira, and her and Aragon was battling the evil king and everything. But I just want to say though, my mama said this here about there's some magic that's from Aragon and Star Wars. It's almost the same. Like there's a fort that you can use magic like a force push or force pull, and also when you have like all the those bars gets together, when you press the L and R3 down on the buttons on the PS2 controller, the swords lights up, and it's almost like lightsabers going at it. I mean, like, wow. So, yeah, it's kind of pretty cool. So, yeah, but it's pretty cool. But one thing for Star Wars is that it kind of to know one thing for sure though. The only thing that kind of really changes the whole franchise is that that sometimes you get newer characters in, and sometimes though new characters it's not. I don't know how to say the new characters. I don't know. Someone might be good, be bad. I think they're just trying to do a trial and error thing. So, yeah. So, well, mm, so, well, hey, Michael, I kind of
Yeah,
talked
Jay.
about a little bit about Aragon there, and have you watched the movie called?
I was
Yeah.
listening, but I gotta.
Have you ever
I'm gonna kick. Hang on,
watched the
Jay.
movie?
Hang on, Jay. I'm gonna kick you off for a minute, okay? Because I'm gonna be opening a box for Andy because Andy's here. All right. So I'm gonna kick you off for a minute. All right.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Okay, Andy. I don't know if you want to come on or not, or I know Kyle's probably not sure. Delilah, sorry, baby.
Hi everybody, it's okay. Sorry, I got scared. I get scared sometimes and yelp like like I'm getting hurt and murdered, but I'm really not. I just do it so people stop moving me around. Okay, I'm tired. I'm gonna go back to bed. Bye.
That's the life of Delilah. But okay, so this is something you guys haven't seen. Well, I should say, not all of you guys have seen it. One of the things when you're a collector or an acquirer of things, and you know that some of your friends well, Kylo's about to come in here showing off himself. Kylo's on the way, and then we'll get to this. But, you know, it's like instead of just selling stuff and put it on eBay, you say, hey, I'm about to put this on eBay. Anybody want any of it? And, you know, maybe you don't make as much money, but you're helping friends out. And that's kind of like I was talking with Mike earlier on the show. You know, it's the whole collecting thing, and you might not make as much money. Or if Kylo ever tells me that he does want one of those Revens, I'm going to give it to him. I'm going to give it to him at cost. Ish. You know, just like when he sends me something, he's going to give it to me at cost ish. And, you know, I could put it on eBay and sell it right now for $50, but my friend wants it or needs it. So, you know, I'm going to give it to him ship it to him for 20. You know, and that covers everything, and, you know, whatever. Or, you know, you keep a kind of a mental tally. Oh, I do anyways. Like they owe me one, I owe them one, or I gave them something, or, you know, and it's not really like you write it down and say anything, but it, you know, you just got to make sure that you're not taking advantage of your friends or they're not taking advantage of you. And a while ago, somebody hits me up and says, hey, I'm getting rid of some of these things. And I said, all right, I want some. And that's about what I'm about to pop open on this box right now. Just waiting for Kylo to come in. I know Andy's busy, so I don't want to keep him too tied up right now. Kylo had to put pants on. What he likes to do is he likes to go over to somebody's house. Like he'd come over here and he'd walk behind me without his shirt on, because his eyes are bleeding, and that's just the way it is because he wasn't ready for dinner. What's up?
As he likes to
Hold
go
on,
over
I
someone's
gotta turn my
house.
volume
Like he'd
down.
come over here and he'd walk
No! Baba
Uh,
booey, Baba booey, Baba booey, Baba booey, Baba booey.
Don't do that shit.
All right.
It's been quite some time. It's been a while, man. It feels like I'm out of practice.
Well, this is a good way to get you back into practice.
What's up? How's everybody doing? There we go. I had to come in properly.
We're
Hey, it's after 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, so I'm sure a few F-bombs ain't gonna hurt anybody.
yeah. Oh no, I dropped a couple already, but so here we go. I just want to get this bad boy popped open because I know Andy's got stuff to do. I got this box from Andy.
Where the hell is he at? He should be in here.
He didn't want to come in. I don't know what he's doing.
Is he still in the chat?
Yeah. But he told me he was here, and he texted me and said that he was here. But although I got this package a while ago and I had it opened, it was in the back because I haven't done the unboxing of it or unveiling or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, Gannon, that was an interesting theory. I want to talk more about that. We'll have to do it. I know you said you can't do it today. I don't know. Patrick had a theory that the old lady at the end of Tross isn't just some random old lady. He can tell you more about it, but it's a girl from Tatooine that comes on that was in a deleted scene, and she never left Tatooine, and she looks like she's 1,000,000 years old because that's what happens on Tatooine. Why the fuck? So that was his theory. There's a lot more involved in it, but we can talk about that a little bit after. So, all right, so here we go. Kylo from Kylo Customs Elite Collector Squadron, back in the saddle, at least for right now. You got to say, I need you to say it for me.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? All right.
No, I had to give a little RFB twist to it, though.
I have no idea how these are going to come out of the box. But let's see here.
Hey, Andy, I'm still waiting for my stickers, bro.
All right. The first one out of the box.
Send it here. You don't collect them.
We have a Tusken Raider, number 19.
You don't collect Funko Pops. Send it this way.
You wouldn't want it. There's a the box is only an 85. You wouldn't want it.
Oh, then I'm not one of those picky assholes that needs a freaking 10 out of 10.
So there we go. We got a Tusken Raider. You can see on the back there. I don't even know who the hell's on the back there. Gamorrean Guard, I got that bad boy. Then you have Luke, Han, and Obi-Wan, Princess Leia, and the slave outfit, Greedo, Jawa, and a clone trooper.
And that's a Jedi Knight Luke.
So I already have the Gamorrean Guard.
Jedi Knight Luke's hard to find, dude.
I don't think I have that one in here, but so this is the black box. Is this the second
Yeah,
pressing or
that's the second release. The first release was blue.
okay? So like this one, Blue Leia.
That's yeah. Hey, is that from when he posted that that he's selling them like I don't know, like a month or so ago, 2 months ago?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I got some stuff from him too from that, but I don't know where the hell. I think it's already put away.
Yeah, no, I know you did because it was kind of like, hey, I want this and you want this, and I was like, well, whatever.
I think we split everything he had.
I think we did too. But here we go. So these are the first ones that come out. The first one that comes out is Darth Vader. That's number one. But then you have there too. And is Greedo's number 7? He's number 7 on there too. So yeah, like you can get all these guys. I'm just guessing that like Han is number 3 on here. You can get a Han number 3 on here, but this one's going to be blue. This one's going to be black, and it's kind of like the first version or whatever. Along with that, you have Chewbacca. Chewbacca.
That Chewie only came in a blue box, so there wasn't a reprint for him or a re anything for him.
All right, and then you have Captain Rex from Rebels. And the only other Rebels Funko Pop that I have is Chopper. And I don't even know if it's is there more than one Chopper? Well, I know there's a
2.
I'll have to check and see.
There's one that's called the Imperial Disguise Chopper.
Okay, yeah, I meant regular ones. Yeah, I don't have that one.
Yeah.
But now this was a Smuggler's Bounty exclusive, so it's not going to be on the back here with the other ones. But yeah, so and then we have Darth Vader. You got to have that Darth Vader pop. This was the first pop ever made. So, let's see. What else do we have here? Princess Leia, Bosch, or Boosh, depending on what her name is.
I think it's Boosh.
And that's where it just goes to show you that, like, I don't collect Funko Pops because, I didn't pick up Bib Fortuna. I think I had the chance. I don't know. Andy would probably be able to tell you. But yeah, so like, or one of my other friends had Bib Fortuna to get rid of, and it's one of those ones that's not the $5 or $10 one. It's like a $30 or $40 one, I believe. But I don't collect Funko Pops, so I didn't get it. If I collected Funko Pops, I'd probably pick it up. But
bullshit.
Here we go, right here, Sabine Wren.
I thought you said you didn't have. Oh, you're pulling these out of the box. Never mind.
Yep. Are these all the Rebel ones, or do they have another wave that came out?
They have that wave. Ahsoka has a exclusive. Sabine has an exclusive where she's wearing her helmet.
Okay, yeah. All right, yep. All right.
But then, yeah, that's it. Like Zeb, there's only one Zeb. There's only one Kanan. There's only one Ezra. There's 2 Choppers. Hera, or however you say Hera, she only has 1. I don't know why I said Ahsoka, but yeah, Ahsoka has many.
Yeah, Ahsoka has a bunch of them.
I don't even know why I threw Ahsoka in there, but yeah, I don't know. I see I'm out of practice. I'm throwing shit from a different show in there.
Bam! Jabba the Hutt.
I'm surprised he's not heavier than he is. Like they would have given him a little bit more weight in his box, a little bit more girth.
I know you're all about the girth. But see, this is where you get into. This is still the blue line. So we already saw in the back of the box. We saw the clone trooper, the Jawa, the slave Leia. And I don't know. Some of these.
Some of the back of those boxes are different too, because in that one you got the X-wing
Yeah.
Luke back.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So that's what was in the box for this week. And the reason I pulled this out, I didn't have anything else. I mean, it's like I have back there, I still have another box or another couple boxes full of things that I haven't opened up yet. Similar to this, it's already been opened up and I looked at it, but I haven't, done what's in the box. So
grab another goddamn box. Let's do it.
No, dude, not today.
Look, I'm here. Grab another goddamn box. Or not.
I got to save it. What if I don't have anything for next week?
I'm sure you got. All right. Yeah. What for Monday?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, because I don't have anything new. Last thing new I got was San Diego Comic-Con, and they didn't send me my goddamn Sith jet trooper. The bastards. They refunded me for it.
Well, I talked to. Well, actually, you're sending me something, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm sending you. Yep, I'm sending you whatever you call them, Yoju or whatever the hell you say it. Yoju. How do you say it?
Yoju.
Yoju. All right. Yeah, I'm sending you Yoju.
All right. Well, just as long as I have my next Monday, I'll open up another box. Let's do it.
I'll try to get them out tomorrow.
Let's do it. Hang on. Entertain them.
All right. So I get to entertain you guys. I'm a little bit out of practice. What the hell's going on? How's everybody doing? I've been under the weather. Let's see the chat. We got Miss Pauline. We've got Gilster. I don't know Gilster. I haven't met them yet. I've talked to Pauline a few times. There's my homegirl, Vader's girl 28. That's an old school homegirl. She's really cool people. Then there's Andy. Andy's good people. Rez. Rez. Gotta love Rez. Try to ban him, but he keeps coming back. I like Mr. Rez. What's in the box? Damned if I know, because it ain't my box I'm opening. Last thing I got, honestly, guys, is like from San Diego Comic-Con, and I've been starting to put that away. Doing some house renovations. We had a tornado here last Monday. We were out of power till Saturday, I want to say. And a lot of stuff, damage was done, so I'm redoing that. Going through some personal things. There's dropped a hashtag. It's called hashtag, and I'm gonna drop it into the chat. This is a very close and dear hashtag we need to do. Those close to me know why. Some of the regulars will probably see that there's not a person here in the chat or on the stream with me on a Monday night with me. But we're all hoping for the best. Yeah, I'm in Midwest. I'm in Illinois. I'm in the southwest suburbs of Chicago. I'm like 35 minutes out of the city. So there's a few of us around here. I think Roe is from the area, and so isn't Lunga from the Chicago area, Michael?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a few of us from around in this area here too.
There's a lot of podcasters from Chicago.
I
There's
bet
a lot of
I bet you a lot of it was down because damn near almost this part of the state, the power was knocked out.
All right. So
Make your appearance. Hold on. You want to make your appearance? Say hello to everybody. This is Kane. Kane is the Homeland Security. Oh, wait here. Let me get this in here. Say hi. Say hi.
hi, puppy. Hi, puppy.
He's a good boy. That's my ride or die right there, man. He has well, you know, Andy knows, a few other people know. He's the one that's kept my head pretty much in a right place right now. So
That's good.
yep, the
All
boys. I got 3 of these things. All right, go ahead. What are we doing? What do we got? Is it a box or
it's a box.
Oh, what's in the box? It's a big box. I like those big boxes from Amazon, man.
Well, although it's an Amazon box, it's not from Amazon. Same thing happened with Andy. My buddy Rashad had some stuff he was trying to get rid of. And Rashad has Will Communications. They haven't made a podcast in a long time, but he does the comic books with Justin. But you can find Rashad on he's Steele's producer a lot of times when Steele does his live shows or his call-in shows. Rashad's usually there working on the that end of it. And you can also find him on the Bad Motivators Patreon talking comic books with Luke and King Tom. I have cool friends because I'm cool. I mean, come on, you know. You think my friends are like the skinny girls and I'm the fat one, so they hang out with me just so that they look better? Please. But all right, let's see what we got in this box now. I haven't opened up this box yet. So I got this a while ago. It's just been sitting back there to do a collecting with Kyle. Now, see, that's the best thing about these are I can still do. I'm popping them open here. But I'm still going to do a collecting with Kylo on these and take a little better look. All right, so we're going to start off with something you may have already seen. Captain Rex. So now this will go into the trade or sell pile with this guy right here. All right. This guy, I've been watching for this guy for a while. FN 2187.
Wow, nice.
A lot of these figures in this line I don't like, except for like I don't like. All right, I'll show you on here. I don't like the Kylo Ren. I don't like the Finn. I don't like the Rey. I don't like the C-3PO, but I'm pretty sure I have one of them. I got one of those from Kylo. I like these troopers down here. Who do you got? You got a Storm, First Order Stormtrooper, First Order Snow, and First Order Flame. So like I would grab those. But yeah, so
That one was a nightmare to find. I actually got mine through Second Market. I paid like $30 for that one.
Well, that's what I was, talking to Mike about earlier. It's the way that they distribute them. Like, they don't say we're going to put 3 at this store and 3 at that store. Like, one store in New York City might get 6, and it's within, a 20-minute walk of 2 other stores. So I don't know which one to go to, and they don't know. And you go try and they still have them back to check the inventory. So like they can't tell you whatever, but I don't know, man. It's just there's 2 Black Series and a Funko Pop that went on sale at Target, and I didn't get them online just because they were sold out. I couldn't get to them, so I'm waiting for them to either come back up or when they go on sale, go to Target and get them. And when I do, I'm gonna, before I go, I'm gonna find out who needs them. Do you want me to get them if they have them? And then I can pick up 2 or 3 of each and then mail them or whatever. Because
which ones are you?
The Cardinal Black Series and the Black Series, the DJ Rex is a Black Series. And then there is a Funko Pop. These were all ones that were supposed to be at whatever, I don't know, Galaxy's Edge, and then they decided to make them Target, and then they were supposed to go on sale, and they put them up for sale a half hour earlier than the announced time, so the bots bought them all up before collectors could get them. But you have to hope that with Target they'll come back up, or they'll be at the stores and you can buy them. Something just came up recently at Target that 6 months ago went on sale, and it's been selling for $30 or $40 on eBay, and now they just went back up on sale on Target. They're gone instantly again because people can buy them all to sell them again for $30. But we got this guy right here, Count Dooku. And then I think this is one of your most expensive lines, if I am correct.
Yeah, that's one of the heavy. Yeah, that's the top 2 are. The bottom 2 are, they're not really, but that Grievous and that Qui-Gon are just ridiculously overpriced.
So yeah, that was they can sit there, have a little fight.
Especially Qui-Gon. Interesting story about that Dooku. When I ordered the box, because that's a Smuggler's Bounty one, they delivered it, and the hand that's holding the saber was broken off inside the box. So I sent them an email, and they sent me a brand new one, and I just found the broken one, and now I have 2. Because they sent so I'm probably gonna super glue the hand back on and try to figure out what I'm gonna want to do with the second one.
Gilster, what new Mandalorian Black Series? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Mandalorian Black Series.
I'm still waiting for my Boba Fett carbonized and my Darth Vader carbonized that I pre-ordered.
Here we go. We got Bosk.
He's cool. He's kind of pricey now too.
Bosk is one of my one of those ones that I don't know if I was going to say Black Series. Bosk is one of those figures that I know as a kid was one of the first ones that I had. But yeah, so you can see on the back here too. He comes with Hammerhead, a Biker Scout. I want the Biker Scout. I don't think I have it. I'd have to go and check. The 6-inch Wampa. Now that's the old Wampa. Not the new one that came out. I have the new one. The new one's part of the 40th anniversary line. The Emperor, I don't really care about that. Bosk, I picked up that one, and the Luke, I don't really, not
The
on
what?
my.
The Wampa, there's a regular and a flocked one. The flocked one was cool, but my favorite one out of that line there is the Hammerhead. The detail on him is ridiculously good.
But I put him in the group. I don't know if you were around for that though. I know for a little while you weren't around, but here's Obi-Wan. This is number 214. It is I was going to say Galaxy's Edge. It was a Smuggler's Bounty exclusive.
I tried to keep it with the group as much as I could, but man, it was rough for quite some time.
So I'm looking. What's the difference between this one, number 214? Do you know? The Galaxy's Edge, and then the Obi-Wan that's listed on back, whatever it is, the 124, 129. Do you know what the difference is on there?
I'm gonna want to say I honestly can't really tell because it's not even the different position of the blade, and it doesn't look like there's a change of his clothing, or if his robe or his cloak or whatever you want to call it. Hairstyle looks the same. I don't know. I'll have to check mine because I have both.
Gilster, are you saying the new Mandalorian as in they made a new one, or Mandalorian is new that you're getting? And then picked up this guy right here. Little Darth Maul action going on. Kylo's not even looking.
No, I'm looking now. I was sending a message back to Rez in the chat.
Oh.
That's the mechanical legged one, right?
I don't think so.
It looks like it. It don't look like. Yeah, I think that is.
He's got boots on.
Yeah, but you put boots on over your robotic feet, though, too.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know. I don't collect Funko Pops, so I don't know about these things.
Go to hell. Look at the goddamn figure. You collect them and see a bunch of them behind you.
Yeah, I'm still interested to find out from Gilster about this Mandalorian if it's something that. Do I have something ordered? I don't even know about it.
No, he's probably just firstly getting his, depending on who he pre-ordered it through. Oh, it's with his second armor. Yeah, that's not a new one.
Well, here we go. Here's a badass one. Cad Bane, baby.
I had two of them. Now I regret trading one of them. Because I kind of want to have one for out of box.
He's by himself. There's nothing else on there. Because he was a 2018 summer exclusive. He was out before I started acquiring Funko Pops.
I think most of those ones in that box were.
And Grievous. There you go. There's your Grievous.
I've only seen one in person, and I bought them.
And then it's like, do I want Qui-Gon? I would have to get a really good deal on Qui-Gon
for that one.
Yeah.
I got the Force Ghost Qui-Gon, which is cool, but that one I would have to work out a trade for.
And that's the thing, though. I don't have anything worth trading. I mean, this one right here is probably, I think it's my second most expensive pop now, behind
The Mando.
Yeah. And that's where you get into iffy territory because the sticker on there is a shared exclusive, so it might only be worth $300, not $500, depending on who you ask. But if you run it's all relative to what someone's going to pay for it too. But that one that I got doesn't have the New York Comic Con sticker on it. It has a shared exclusive, but I don't know if any of them have the New York Comic Con sticker on them. So that's something that I would have to look into and see, but I'm not planning on selling it. And if I was to sell them, it's like when I picked up the case of them for Triple Force Friday, I picked them up and my idea was, well, I'd rather have them that's it. That's all we got for today. And now, of course, I do have more things back there to open up that aren't opened yet, but I picked up, and Kylo knows about these. I picked up a couple things on Amazon because they were just so cheap. And I picked them up to either throw them on eBay or to have as, gifts. Because it was like, buy this container of these things, and each one then has things in there that are worth more than I paid for it. So it has 4 or 5 or 3 or 4 things in there, and each one's worth more than what I paid for the entire thing. So, that's where we're at right now. But yes, that was the little haul, and I'm going to be going through shortly. I've been saying it for a couple of months, but I've been trying to wait for my computer to get back so I could set it up on my website too and have the picture there, so people from the collecting groups and everything could just go to my website and see it. But that hasn't happened yet. And not sell anything off of there, but then they can contact me and say, hey, I want this one, how much is it? And before I put things up on eBay. But see, here's my problem. Like I said, I got the case of The Rise of The Last Jedi Funko Pops. A lot of them are worth $5 right now. So if I go to sell them on eBay, I'm going to have to sell them for $10, including shipping. It's going to cost me, depending on where they're going, $5 to $8 to ship it. I'm going to make $2 to $5 on each one. I mean, yeah, $2 to $5 adds up eventually, but then I also got to pay for the box. So, you got to talk about, do I, do I try and sell these and make $1 profit off all of them? Or just try and get rid of some of the other, mid-priced ones that are $20 or $30. And I think I might just keep some of the $5 ones And once it's time for Kessel Toy Run, once that comes around, just set up a big box and ship that big box out there. And, just send Brandon and the kids a shit ton of Funkos. I put up on Twitter. I gotta find it because I can't go back far enough because on my phone it won't let you. I need a computer to do it. I started running a contest on Twitter for 1,000. Once I get to 1,000 followers, I was giving away Moff Gideon and a Trandoshan Thug, and I posted it the one day, and I actually lost followers when I posted that. And I went the other day to try and start doing that again, and all of a sudden I can't get back far enough to get it. So, it was June 23rd or 24th or something like that. But yeah, I mean, I got one of these, and I don't know if I'll ever get another one. So I'm going to cherish this one for the rest of my life. And maybe I'll get a second one. And I don't even know. I haven't even talked to my people yet to find out. Are they going to be the same as they were, or are you're going to be able to differentiate between them for each year, or am I going to be involved with the Holo Chronicles as maybe a guest presenter, being that I have the most illustrious trophy in Holo Chronicles history? So am I going to be like a guest presenter, or is it going to be like a lifetime achievement award that I'm going to get this year and just pass out to the peasants, the other regular ones? I'm not sure how it's going to work out yet, but we'll have to talk and figure that out. And I might have to retire. It's unfair for me to win every year and just keep taking them. So I might have to retire, just take my lifetime achievement award, and let some other people have a chance to win it, or we'll see.
Get mine. Get me one this year.
I mean, the Holo Chronicles, they were on Collecting with Kylo. They did an episode of Collecting with Kylo. Kylo wasn't there, but it's his show too. Like I always say, it's a network of one with many friends. And my friend Kylo and I do the Collecting with Kylo. So,
that's me.
That's him. So, it's my network, the network of one with many friends. And, I have the Holocron House. Anybody that wants to do the Holocron House can come on and do the Holocron House with me. Rural Farmboy did it for a little while, but he's having even more computer internet issues, so he hasn't been on in a bit. We got a Coruscant Coach's Corner with me and Mike Pappas. He made more of the Collecting with Kylo, or I'm sorry, he made more of the Coruscant Coach's Corner recordings than he's made for his new podcast since they've revamped it. Excuse me.
Good night, Nick. You're done? Quite a bit set up, so. Okay.
So, there's that too. So we'll have to see how that goes.
I'll be turning it in soon too, because I have to go deal with that garbage in the morning.
But yeah, so that's pretty much it. We gotta figure out. Do I get a Lifetime Achievement Award this year? Is it too early for me to get the Lifetime Achievement Award? I mean, this is only the second time. This is only going to be, Holo Chronicles Award Show Season 2. Is it too early for me to get this Lifetime Achievement Award? Some might say yes. Others will say no. Take your Lifetime Achievement Award and let other people win some awards. Please, Michael, be fair to everyone else. And I mean, I guess it's up to Twitter once again to vote on it, or Andy and Josh. You guys might know them better as the Chronicles guys. I mean, so it's just, I mean, would I like for the next 20 or 30 years to win every award that they give off? Yes. But I mean, we're all this together. Let's be fair. So maybe that's what we need to do is just give me the Lifetime Achievement Award and we don't have to worry about it anymore. Who's stealing my pretzels? Does Delilah get an award? Does Kylo get the award for that episode of the Chronicles? Or I'm sorry, that episode that the Chronicles was on with Collected with Kylo? Is Kylo eligible to win that award? Because, that's his show on the network with me. Even though he wasn't here, that's, that doesn't mean he doesn't get it either. He's the executive producer of the show. So, and the co-host and the director and the marketing advisor.
The show on the network to have a special guest appear on.
Hi, baby.
Hi, everybody. You can make my network award out to Delilah. And that is all.
I mean, she knows what she wants. So,
every time I see her, I think of Comic or Triumph, the comic insult dog. There's a resemblance
between me or
well, yeah, okay, yeah, you too. For her to poop on.
I mean, look at. I'm TooMedToo's body right now.
Trade you 40 pops for your Mando pop. Which 40?
Yeah, I'm
all of the Last Jedi and all of the
which Mando pop?
Yeah, right.
I just picked up, if you guys watched, Mr. Rez was crying and he's like, listen, God damn it, I'm a patron of yours and I demand that you open up a box on this show, even though it's the wrong show. And I kind of felt like he was, a little bit bamboozled. And I didn't want him withdrawing support for me. So I opened up a box and it was the Chrome Mandalorian Amazon exclusive, not to be confused with the Mandalorian Chrome, which is not an Amazon exclusive, which sells for $300 or $400 because the entire thing is Chrome, not just the helmet. And I only know this because looking at it on eBay and finding it out, and then seeing YouTube videos about people getting ripped off because they're selling the Amazon exclusive one as this other one. And the only way to differentiate them, because they look identical, is the number that's stamped at the bottom of them. But that, that comes into it once again, where it's like, if you said, hey, I have this Mandalorian that mine's $500 because it has the sticker on it, or, $300 or whatever because of the sticker on it. But here's one that it's not a knockoff. It's an actual real Funko Pop. We just remade it and it's worth $20 now. I'm going to buy the one for $20 because, it doesn't really mean that much to me. Like that it has the sticker or whatever. The only thing that really mattered for the stickers were the ones that I picked up for a celebration. But, Yeah, I don't know if you guys were around. Kylo, did you see my package that I got from Disney World?
I think I did. Yeah, I did.
Okay. Because that's going to be another, that's a collecting with Kylo right there. We're actually, instead of just, like, I probably won't take those ones out of the box.
It was it was a 3-pack of some. I know I remember seeing it, but one was a 3-pack, right?
Yeah, I think there was 2 3-packs and a 4-pack, or a 4-pack and a 3-pack, and then a couple of pops.
Yeah. I just want to make sure I remember if I'm remembering right.
Yeah, but like for that, I'll do a collecting with Kylo, and once I get the computer back, the last few things I've done live streaming, but it's fun to live stream because it's fun to interact, but it took me 20 minutes to do the stream. Once I get my computer back, you don't have to watch me opening things up and whatever. I can make that a 5-minute video, and it's going to be shared with more people, and I'm not going to make money off of it. I might make a quarter off the video or whatever, but more people are going to watching a 5-minute Funko video opening than a 20-minute one, when 15 minutes of it is me opening shit up and trying to get it out of the boxes and in the box or whatever. Just my opinion, just what I think. Just like I know I've talked about it. Just as long as I can get my computer back and get it working, and start doing some Patreon only things, and it's going to be like the archive, and it's going to be I gotta just figure out what it is and what people want, and depending on what kind of tiers they sign up for or whatever it is. No one's going to lose anything with the tiers. It's already the tiers that are there, people are paying, and there's just going to be some added stuff for them bonus wise. But like the and decide, I get a $400 book, like I didn't pay that anywhere near that. That's why it's been on my list for over 2 years. But like the Art of the Clone Wars book, do that as a Patreon exclusive. And I'll do the archive book. It's 600 pages long, so that will last me, if I do 10 pages of it, and it's not as long as like the art book, so it'll go a little bit quicker. If I put one of those out every week, that will last me a year, and that will be content going out for them exclusively. And then I got to see about just what to do. Do I eventually put them on regular YouTube, or do I just say, no, that's a Patreon one and they stay? Or some of them do, some of the books, like the archive one, that just stays Patreon. And then the other one, like if I do something else, it goes on the Patreon first, and then, a week or two later hits the regular feed. So, that's a work in progress. We'll get it all figured out. I don't know what there's 8 of. Will a Willow pop ever happen? Well, there's rumors that Willow 2, or some type of Willow revival, whatever you want to call it, is in the works. So I'm sure we'll get some Willow pops if that does come out. Princess Bride Funko Pops. Are there any Princess Bride Funko Pops, Kylo?
Yes. I think there is a couple coming out very soon. I think That skeleton one. I know there's at least two, and I know there's one of like the. I'm not familiar with the with that movie, so but I do know that there are some out,
Wait,
and I do.
what?
There's a
You're not
couple
familiar
new.
with The Princess Bride?
I am not.
Wow, dude, you need to watch that. I don't know if it'll have the same impact on you now as 20 or 25 years ago, but
I'll
and
you know I'll give it a look. I mean, if it's got an impact, I have an open mind when I watch a movie. So I mean, I don't think it'll affect me any differently or have a different impact than it would have 20 years ago.
I mean, it probably goes for wrestlers acting in movies from the 80s. I'd say that Andre the Giant is tied with Roddy Piper.
I think. Well, I mean, if
He might actually be better than him.
I mean, something like that. It might be a little bit more nostalgic for me too. Now that I'm a little bit older, and I can further appreciate. Of course, I've always respected and appreciated both of them, but I mean, now to sit back and actually watch them act in a movie
Well, Roddy Piper's not in it, but I'm just saying he was in what the hell is that movie he was in with the aliens or lizard people?
He was good, and I know Andre the Giant is in that movie too. So I mean, or in the Princess Bride. I have to watch it.
Once Ro, I just opened up two cases of or not cases, two boxes. There was probably, what was there, 15 Funko Pops, old ones. Some of them are kind of on the expensive side. But yeah, once I get that computer back, man, we can do some more karaoke. That's why this guy's sitting here behind me that you guys have been talking about. Am I frozen? I'm frozen.
No, you're not frozen. You're moving. You're talking. I can see you. You're good.
Okay. I'm frozen on my screen. Oh, my screen's frozen. Yeah, my screen's completely frozen.
I'm not. What's going on, guys? Getting to be late night. Made a few.
All right, and I'm back.
I have a few lights of my own. It's my channel light that I'm gonna start using for channel videos. And then and then this is our group light. Those are glass block lights that I made one for my kid and her graduation. I put her graduation picture with her school colors in it. And then I made one for like one of the relatives. They graduated this year too, so they had something like unique and something cool for actually graduating, since everything in the world has sucked ass since March, because people like to want to be Ozzy Osbourne and bite the head off of bats and turn bat shit crazy and spread a disease.
They Live is what Gil's that name of that movie.
Okay.
With Roddy Piper.
All right, I'll have to check. Yeah, I think I've seen that one, but not The Princess Bride. I know.
And Roe was just here. I don't know if Roe's still here. Andy's taken off. So yeah. Was there any news this week? We're getting. We got the cover. We got a cover for Alphabet Squadron 3. That was about it. Everything else. I'm trying to think. Was there any news? I know I talked about some news on Saturday night. I'd talk about it here too, but I don't know. I don't really think there was anything. I think the only thing we got since last Monday that we didn't cover was the book. Yeah, we got a couple more rumors, and maybe on the. I don't know anything about the NBA, but we're gonna have a Mandalorian 2 trailer for coming out on the NBA, supposedly. That's what rumor has it. And then it's supposed to be the 20th or 21st, or I don't know. But the one day there's no games, and then the other day, whoever's playing wouldn't be that big of a market. So, I don't know, man. I really don't know. And, then it comes into, am I going to be able to make it from now until The Mandalorian if I try and go spoiler free and not know? I think it's pretty much impossible. I would just have to get off Twitter and Instagram and see whatever else. So I guess it's one of those things where.
When's that supposed to start? Is it end of September, early October, right?
It's going to be airing in October. They haven't given us a date yet, but some of the scoopers are saying whatever it is. I think the 6th.
Is it going to be 8 episodes? Did they at least release how many episodes it's going to be this time?
Nope. They haven't released anything. Everything we know about the Mandalorian, we know through scoopers or spoilers or whatever it is. Disney Lucasfilm has not released anything.
Yeah, I kind of gave up on all that. I'll just wait till it comes out and just wait to see what happens when it happens.
I got to see. I got to see when I'm off probation for YouTube. What day?
You're still on probation for YouTube. What the hell did you do? You start bleeding out of your eyeballs and shit?
Yeah, man. Remember when I lost YouTube for a week?
Yeah, I remember that. I thought that's because you're hacking satellites and reading license plate numbers again.
I mean, that's what it possibly has to do with it, because I'm anonymous. But the they put you on probation for 6 months. So if I get in trouble again, I lose the channel for 2 weeks. But once my probation's up, if I get busted again, then I just lose it again for 1 week. So it kind of starts all over again, and I'll just go back to Twitch or whatever. But I gotta figure out what to do, because I don't know. Enough other people sit there and talk about it and break it down frame by frame. That's not really me. I don't have the time for that. Hopefully I'll be back to work soon. But that's all still just waiting on that. So, then it also depends on what store am I going to be at once I go back to work. And then am I going to finish my training, or I got to start all over, and whatever is going to happen, and do what hours am I going to be working, total number of hours, and am I going to be working mornings, or am I going to be working back on mid shift, or 3 to 11, 4 to 12, whatever you want to call it. So everything's up in the air once I do go back. And then, are they going to be able to put me back at full time, or am I going to be part time until they can fit me back into full time because I'm on a medical leave of absence? Which, it's just, I have my job back, but fitting me into the back into the schedule. So it's just a bunch of things up in the air, and shit. They want to, put me on 2 10-hour days. I'll work 2 days a week, collect unemployment for the other 2. Will still be a big pay hit or pay cut, but it's better than working 5 5-hour days. But it won't happen, I know. So
we'll they ain't gonna do that. They ain't gonna do that because like when I go back, I'm on. There's a situation with mine, so I became a unrestricted free agent, and I'm leaving my company. I've already signed on with brand new deal with the new company, making more money, more hours, better schedule. I'm not working 6 days a week to scratch out 30 fucking hours a week. Plus that other company can kiss my ass.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's anything else going on.
I don't understand why why companies do that to us. You know what I mean? They make us work like 6 days to get freaking 30 hours. What the hell?
Well, because like I know New York State, if you work 6 hours or more, you have to get a break. If you work 5 hours and 45 minutes, you don't get a break.
Same thing here. Yeah.
Company policy can make it different. But and then if you work more than 6 hours, you get a half-hour break. And for me, my break's paid, so they're not only having to have someone cover my break, they're paying me for not working. Where they can put 2 people on for 4 hours each instead of putting me on for 8 hours. And then, they don't have to pay anybody on their breaks and whatever. And then, when you work X amount of hours, you get another 15-minute break. And then if you work whatever, you get another, extra 15 minutes plus, they got to pay you an extra whatever. And, so it all comes down to money. I mean, from a business standpoint, it makes sense to, have 2 people work 4-hour shifts rather than an 8-hour shift. It's just dependent, whether it's feasible or not going into that. But,
right.
All right. Yeah. So if I think that's pretty much it. Next week we have, it comes out Tuesday. The Clone Wars anthology book, comes out next Tuesday. So we won't be talking about that next week. But I will probably be doing a book review that will be dropping on Tuesday. And, I might do a non-spoiler, quick couple-minute one to drop on Tuesday, and then give it another day or 2 and do a spoiler one. I don't know. What's your viewpoint on that, Kylo? Depending on the book, sometimes there's an embargo on the book, but this one doesn't have an embargo on it. So the book gets released on Tuesday. You can talk about it on Tuesday. Sometimes they'll say, you can talk about it like tomorrow for next Tuesday because they want people to go ahead and buy it. But then you get people talking and about every detail of the book, and then it's ruined for some people. Like I was saying, with spoilers with the Mandalorian. So,
right.
And once again, you get into the thing where I'm not a scooper. I don't have a big channel. Maybe someday in the future, if I actually have people watching for my book reviews or doing things, and I'm not getting, 40, 60, 80, 100 views, on it after whatever period of time. Because all my, I mean, the majority of my my views are pretty standard. The Bacta tank, gets about 100 views after about a month. It will get 30 to 60 views tonight while it's on, and then it will get another 30 to 60 views over the next couple weeks or month or so, to equal about 100 or maybe a little bit more. I think I'm almost at 200 on my one with Jason from Yakface. Some of the other ones are at right about 100 or a little bit 120, 140. I think my one with the Australian week, the first one with Josh, I think that one's at 90 something. I think my one from last week's at 70 something. So it's like I have a pretty consistent view or set of views. Because that's the other thing. You have to watch for 30 seconds before it counts as a view. So if somebody turns it on, they realize I'm an asshole within the first couple seconds. They turn it off. It doesn't count as a view, or whatever. So, but like the Holocron house, those get about, that really depends on the day. Those average probably about 60 or 70. Some of them are sitting at 30. Some of them are at 100. But all right, Gilster, thank you very much for stopping by. You have a great night. So yeah, like everything's pretty much, normal. I don't have any breakout videos except for, the one I did about Ben Shapiro. That's got about 5,000. And then the one that I was just lazy as hell and just fucking videotaped the Oscars for 2 minutes, that had about 80,000, and they took 60,000 away after about 6 months, and I have about 20,000 on that. But it's not monetized. No, not yeah, it'd be nice to have that 20,000 views, and have it be monetized, and get a couple of commercials on there or whatever. But might never happen again. I might get a couple of them. We'll see. But I guess that's going to do it for today. We got, so not next week, but the following week, we're going to have the anthology to talk about. We're going to have the week after that, we'll have Thrawn to talk about. I'll probably be dropping some videos in between there. If it's, probably live streams because I can't edit anything right now. And still doing what we gotta do, and we'll see. Well, with that, I say good day. May the force be with you.
See you guys later.